great performances, you have to talk about the quarterback at Fresno State and the streak. Trent Dilfer, 238 straight passes without an interception. That's the best of all time.
That is the best, a new NCAA record, and this has got to be an emotional game for Trent Dilfer. Who knows? This could be his last game at Bulldog Stadium.
Yeah, there are thoughts that perhaps tonight will be the final appearance for Trent Dilfer at Bulldog Stadium, and he'd like to go out with a victory. As would Ron Rivers, the brilliant running back who, really, I know we have Marshall Faulk in the game, but Rivers isn't too shabby either.
Rivers is right there in the conference standings, running backs with Marshall Faulk, and of course, whenever he goes over 100 yards, good things happen to the Bulldogs.
And when we talk about good things in Bulldogs past, we think in terms of Kevin Sweeney. He's the third member of our broadcast team. And, Kevin, there's great atmosphere around this football game, isn't there?
That's right, Randy. There's wonderful atmosphere. When I played here 7 years ago, there were 30,000 seats in this stadium, people sitting in the grass. They've expanded to 42,000, 12 more thousand fans. They've added skyboxes. Now their Bulldogs are vying for a WAC conference championship. It's going to be a huge football game. I'll keep you posted from down here on the field.
Thank you very much, Kevin. The Aztecs and Bulldogs will kick it off right after this. And welcome back to Bulldog Stadium. Randy Rosenblum, Ralph Wood, and Kevin Sweeney. And there's Jim Sweeney in his 16th year. He says he's enjoyed this season. He says in the middle of the year, perhaps he took some of the losses too hard, took it on his team a little bit too hard, but he's responded. And Ralph, he was in a very, I would say, almost jovial mood yesterday as he was looking at Aztec films.
And I think the only thing that he was concerned about was the emotion factor. You know, he's a guy who coaches emotion, but he thought that there was a possibility his team could get too emotionally high for this game. And he thought they might have to bring him down a little bit, calm him down.
Well, that graphic can get you high from a Bulldog perspective. The fact that the Bulldogs are undefeated at this facility, 5-0 this year, and another big crowd, and they're still coming in. It's a sellout. It's been a sellout for a long time. This figures to be the greatest crowd in the history of Bulldog football at home as the fireworks display begins in Fresno as the Aztecs come on. This is a potent football team. It's not just Marshall Faulk. Al Luganville, you see him run through. Luganville in his 5th year. He's come under some criticism because most of the so-called experts feel that Luganville has the best talent in the conference. He's been in the upper division, but he hasn't won the WAC outright.
They feel the team has been an underachiever under Al Luganville, and I was talking to a couple of guys from San Diego just before the ball game, and their thought was, would he have to win this game? No, he wouldn't have to win this game to save his job, but if he does not win maybe next week or one of these last 2 games, and if the Aztecs did not go to a bowl game this year, Al Luganville might be out at San Diego State.
Let us tell you, too, that the Aztecs do have Wyoming next week at home on Saturday the 27th. And the Aztecs feel that if they win one of their final 2 games, they will go to a bowl game. So there's importance for San Diego State, even if they do not win tonight. And keep in mind, if the Bulldogs win and San Diego State helps them out and beats Wyoming next week, Fresno State would probably go to the Holiday Bowl. The Bulldogs will get the football first. And that means we'll take an early look at Trent Dilfer.
Well, Dilfer possibly seeing his last action in front of these Bulldog Stadium fans. People in Fresno and in the Valley know the talk all week has been that this possibly be his last game before entering the NFL draft, giving up his senior season.
We chatted with Trent yesterday, and he was very non-committal. I asked him point blank, are you going to jump to the NFL? And he couldn't answer it. He said, I got to wait until after a bowl game.
Well, says he's going to wait. The decision may have already been made, but we can talk a little bit later in the game about some of the things that are going to go into his decision-making process. One of them being the amount of money he will make. He's newly married, and he was talking about having $32 in his checking account. And when they're throwing millions of dollars at your face, that's kind of hard to pass up.
By just viewing those Bulldogs jumping up and down on the Aztecs trying to keep warm, you know it's going to be a very emotional night.
You know, we were talking about Trent Dilfer, maybe his last night at Bulldog Stadium. Well, this is the last night at Bulldog Stadium for 25 senior ball players. That's the emotion that we're seeing now. They came out, they were separately introduced before the ball game. They met with their parents at the center of the field. Little ceremony there, giving a parent a rose or a flower back and forth and taking pictures. And that's just gotten this crowd way behind the team, and they're ready to go.
Fans come to their feet, and again, they'll be better than 40,000 tonight. And haven't the Bulldogs been well supported in 1993? Fresno State, 7-3 and 5-2 in the WAC. San Diego State, solid opponent, 6-4 and 4-2 in the conference. Bulldogs in their home red. And again, they will receive the kickoff from Peter Holt, a fine freshman kicker for the Aztecs.
And I think, Randy, we could be in for something special tonight. Just getting a feeling of electricity with this crowd. This stadium is packed. It's going to be rocking. The fans will be behind this team from the starting kick to the final gun.
Anthony Daigle and David Dunn are back deep for the Bulldogs. Dunn, number 11, returned a punt last week against Hawaii, 55 yards for a touchdown. Peter Holt, by the way, is regarded by the Aztecs as a coveted placement specialist. He's hit his last 7 field goal tries. He's a redshirt freshman. Aztecs are coming off a disappointing loss a week ago Thursday to Brigham Young, 45-44. They rallied from 44-31 down, scoring 2 late touchdowns to get within 1. And at 45-44, they failed on the 2-point conversion. Fans making a lot of noise in anticipation of this one. And I think they brought the decibel level up just a bit, knowing that both Wyoming and BYU were beaten earlier today.
The stakes in this poker game have gone way up now with those teams losing. Both of these teams are really in the thick of the race now.
Holt's kickoff is very short. Daigle fields at the 16. Anthony Daigle, 21 yards to the 37. Trent Dilfer comes out as the starting quarterback. Marvelous numbers. Football News, All-American third team behind Charlie Ward of Florida State and Heath Schuler of Tennessee. And again, the streak, 238 consecutive passes. And he says it's a team record. It's not an individual, Mark. They had to block for me, and they had to make spectacular catches at times to get that kind of record.
And that tells you the kind of guy Trent Dilfer is.
Bulldogs in a slot right to begin the game. Charlie Jones on the reverse with room. 50, 40. He's to the 16-yard line of the Aztecs. "52 yards and a thing of beauty early in Jim Sweeney's playbook."
And what a great way to start this ball game. Jones gets along the outside. He kind of runs into his own blockers there, which slows him down. Lee Harris trying to clear the way and finally gets taken down. But a big gain and a big play on the first play of the game for the Bulldogs.
Jamal Duff, the defensive end, the junior from Tustin, had to drag him down. They spot the ball at the 17. First down, Fresno State trying to strike quickly. For Dunn, who is tripped, and a flag is down. Working in the deep secondary against the free safety, Darrell Lewis. Gene Wirtz will give us the indication, but Ralph, little suspense to this one. Lewis bumped Dunn.
Well, they had a little collision down there at the goal line. One of the things the Bulldogs wanted to do was pass on unpredictable downs. Of course, first down would be a down you wouldn't expect them to pass on, but they want to keep this Aztec team off balance. San Diego State with a great pass rush.
Called. The ball was uncatchable. No flag.
The flag is taken away, an uncatchable ball. At least that's the way it was ruled. It'll be second down and 10 at the 17. And Trent Dilfer and the offense will go back to work. Ron Rivers with Mayako. Of course, Rivers setting records here at Fresno State with Winans, Jones, the wideouts, and the tight end is Jeff Arnold. This is the veteran offensive line. And, in fact, Kenny Hall may play some tight end tonight. Second down and 10. We've played 37 seconds, and things have heated up quickly. Rivers bouncing outside and spun down at the 16-yard line. Nice tackle by the strong safety, Chris Johnson, of the open field. And Fresno State will be looking at third down.
Ball is placed at the 16-yard line. It's going to be third down.
Leroy Glover, recruited by Fresno State, is outstanding in that defensive front. Jamal Duff also tough. Sean Smith had a big interception a week ago against BYU to help bring his team back. And the secondary, the freshman Michael Driver, that's a guy the Bulldogs may look at tonight. On third down. Wide open target. Touchdown, Fresno State, Jeff Arnold. 1 minute and 24 seconds into the ball game. A touchdown of 16 yards. Dilfer to tight end Jeff Arnold. 26 touchdowns on the year for Trent Dilfer.
And he gets the big pat on the back from Jim Sweeney. Bulldogs went into this game plan talking about throwing outside, and then when that was closed off, they'd come over to the middle of the backs and the tight ends, and that worked out for him around the hash marks to Jeff Arnold.
Mahoney for the PAT with Lance Thomas holding. 7-0 Bulldogs. 4 plays, 63 yards. The rifle shot, Dilfer to Arnold, and the Dogs lead early.
Write it down.
Bulldogs strike quickly. 4 plays, 63 yards. Dilfer to Arnold, 16 yards. The PAT added by Derek Mahoney, who now kicks off for Fresno State. Curtis Shear is the deep man for the Aztecs. Short kick taken by one of the up men at the 30-yard line, and he goes out of bounds right at the 30-yard line, keeping it away from Curtis Shear. Once again, let's take a look at Dilfer, and he found the open seam, and boy, did he get it to Arnold in a hurry.
Well, Trent Dilfer, a strong-arm quarterback that he is, looks over the middle, and his senior tight end, Jeff Arnold, is right there, pulls it in, and goes over Chris Johnson for the touchdown. Great start for Fresno State. Now we're going to see what the defense can do, of course. And you know what the Aztecs are going to do.
Gutierrez, outstanding quarterback, one-back offense. Behind him is Marshall Faulk. And Gutierrez throwing on first down. Darnay Scott has a first down and a lot more. Darnay Scott stepped out of bounds. Darnay Scott did not play against BYU with a bad back, and he got free early.
Well, that kind of surprised the Bulldogs because they're expecting Marshall Faulk to take the ball outside, left, right, inside. They expect Marshall Faulk to get the ball about 25 to 30 times, but this is what San Diego State likes to do. They want to cross them up. You think Marshall's going to run it? Well, we're going to drop back and pass. A missed tackle attempt there. Scott looked like he had a lot of running room, but they corralled him around the sideline and got him out.
First down at the Bulldog 42, the 68th reception of the year for Darnay Scott. Gutierrez again looking to throw. That's incomplete. Wanted Marshall Faulk, who's had a very good year receiving the ball in 1993. Now the lineup, Faulk over 1,300 yards. Darnay Scott, like Faulk, should play in the NFL. Nyberg and Semenik is a blocking tight end. Carson Leomidi, the best of the offensive linemen, 340 pounds is Leomidi. He's the strong guard, number 71, and a senior. Second down and 10 from the Dog 42. Faulk's first carry. 7 yards to the 35 in the grasp of Sam Watson. It'll be third down and 3 to go for San Diego State.
Bulldogs are going to play a lot of 8- and 9-man fronts on defense, try to stop that run.
Brad Bell's having a terrific year from his right defensive end, and Edwards has improved the last couple of weeks. Ron Papazian is the Bulldog leading tackler. Now the secondary, James Burton and Tommy Jones have been splendid on the corner. Third and 3, 12:40 left first quarter. Aztecs building a drive with Fresno State leading by 7-0. Faulk again is trapped, and down he goes. Gene Smith back at the 39. A loss of 4. It is fourth down.
And the Bulldogs played this one like they knew where it was going. Stack everybody up on the line. Smith breaks through. That is just a great individual effort. Drop Faulk for the loss.
Gene Smith, a sophomore from Lemoore. David Dunn back in single safety at the 10-yard line, and Ed Kosiski to punt it away for the Aztecs. Excellent work by the Aztecs, and Fresno State will begin from inside its 5 on the 37-yard punt. See where they spotted down. right around the 2-yard line. Eric Sutton did a wonderful job of holding his balance.
And we were watching Kosiski in pre-games. He was punting about that distance, so he got a little practice and called into action right away. Just that length of a punt. So I think that had to help him.
The ball is placed at the Fresno State 2-yard line, where it's going to be 1st and 10. Bulldogs.
Dogs backed up to the wall now. 2-yard line. Start something.
Rod Rivers, the lone setback behind Trent Dilfer. And Dilfer, the touchdown, 16 yards to Arnold. Rivers, wedge blocking, has 4 yards to the 6.
We all know about the importance of establishing the running game. That's one of the big principles here at Fresno State. And with running backs like Ron Rivers and Anthony Daigle, you really want to get something going on the ground. That opens up the passing game, takes some of the pressure off Trent Dilfer, because San Diego State is very good in the front four. They put a good pass rush on. And the Bulldogs will also do little special things here and there to kind of keep the heat off Dilfer.
Rivers, 17 times in his career, over 100 yards. Play action. The deep ball. Incomplete. That one was underthrown. Deep post pattern for Titus Winans. And it'll be 3rd down and 6 for Fresno State.
Took a little gamble there, hoping that maybe they could hit something big. Now they're in a position where you're in a predictable passing down. That could cause the Aztecs to come after Dilfer, maybe a blitz here or something.
Touchdown passes with the one tonight, creeping a little bit closer to Mark Barsotti's total. And, of course, Dilfer was the understudy for a season. Played 4 critical games in his freshman year when Barsotti got hurt. Had a big win over San Jose State. And again from his end zone. And wide open a receiver. It's Malcolm Sebron. 1st down Bulldogs out at the 24-yard line. And the Bulldogs wanted to move the pocket tonight for Trent Dilfer, knowing that they'd see a furious rush from the Aztecs. And as soon as Dilfer moved that pocket and rolled to his right, they had plenty of time.
Exactly right, Randy. That was one of the things they were going to do specially to try and keep the heat off Trent Dilfer and slow that pass rush down. They would move that pocket, roll it to one side or the other. In that instance, Dilfer comes to the near side and hits Sebron for the 1st down. Another big play.
1 at 3-yard line of scrimmage for the Bulldogs. Rivers trying to bounce outside. Did well to reach the 26, perhaps the 27-yard line. Darrell Lewis, free safety, the senior from San Diego, made the stop.
Of course, one of the things Ron Rivers does so well is bounce outside. He also fights off tackles right there to get outside. That is DeMario Evans, who missed the tackle there, and allowing Rivers to pick up extra yards. Put the Bulldogs in a pretty good situation now for an unpredictable down.
2nd down and 7. Jim Sweeney relaxed. His team has come out and scored. First drive, a reverse to Charlie Jones. Set it up. It was a 52-yard pickup. And a touchdown, Dilfer to Arnold of 16. Dunn, oh, what a marvelous grab at the 35. 1st down, Bulldog. David Dunn stretching about as far as his body could go.
And you won't see a better catch than that one, Randy. David Dunn goes all out. The fingertip grab over the middle. We're going to take a look at it. Dilfer back, Dunn, you can see coming out and curling across, and wow, caught the back of the ball. That's how good a catch that was.
Well, you know, David Dunn wants to play well tonight. He's a native of San Diego. Went to Morris High School in San Diego before he went to Bakersfield JC, then on to the Bulldog program. 9:55 left first quarter. Bulldogs 7, Aztecs nothing. 1st down at the 35. And keep in mind, Bulldogs started this drive back at their 2. Rivers has 5 yards to the 40. Scott Clay, the middle linebacker, number 57, with help from Darrell Lewis. And, of course, everyone has talked so much about the Aztecs and their ball possession to keep it away from Trent Dilfer. The opposite would apply. When the Bulldogs have the ball, Marshall Falk is not on the field. KMPH Fox 26 proud to have Donna G, local distributor for Budweiser, on board this season as a sponsor for Bulldog football. KMPH would like to say thanks to Donna G Sales for helping us bring you exciting Bulldog football action. Dilfer for Dunn. in Aztec territory to the 46. First down again for FSU.
Another case of moving that pocket and getting Dilfer away from the middle of the field where the pass rush is directed. And another hookup with David Dunn. Dunn coming in as a JC transfer. You know, you get a little slow start when you do that. And really, he's come along about midway the season. Started to really come on and be a factor in the Bulldog offense. And now he is a weapon that they are really enjoying.
Well, he was highly recruited. No secret that Jim Sweeney and Steve Mushagian, the receivers coach, were ecstatic when they got Dunn into the program. First down. And Dilfer has that right arm warm already. Daigle. That extra effort close to the 41-yard line. Taraja Smith made the stop.
Anthony Daigle, another senior, playing his last game at Bulldog Stadium. And when you're in that situation, you give a little extra. And here's the extra from Anthony Daigle right here. He just pulls the defender with him for an extra 2 yards.
Second down and 5. Daigle is 8th in rushing to the Western Athletic Conference. We talked so much about Falk and Rivers, but Daigle's had a very special season and career. For Lee Harris, could not bring it in at the 11-yard line on the fingertips. Nearly another great reception.
We've seen Lee Harris do some unbelievable things on the receiving end of the football this season. That would have been the biggest catch of all. That would have been the greatest. He had to lay out for this one. As you're going to see, he had his man beaten. The ball was nearly perfectly thrown. Just could not hold on. A great effort by Lee Harris and a great throw by Trent Dilfer.
And again, they work on the freshman, Michael Driver. Number 21 on defense, highly recruited by Fresno State. Came down to FSU and San Diego State. And the native of San Diego elected to play for the Aztecs. Third down and 5. And Dilfer again to tight end Jeff Arnold. First down, Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are 3 for 3 on third down conversions.
And the offensive line is doing a terrific job of protecting Trent Dilfer. They ran a little defensive stunt here, and there's really nobody around him. Look at, he has all day to throw and finds Jeff Arnold for the first down. If they can protect Trent Dilfer like that all night, it's going to be a long night for San Diego State's defense.
Collins, Cold Iron, James, Russ Hartman, and Kenny Hall. And then up front, along with tight end Jeff Arnold, doing most of the blocking tonight for Dilfer. Daigle. 4, perhaps 5 yards. And Jamal Duff and Taraja Smith finally bring down Anthony Daigle.
The thing that makes Daigle and Rivers so valuable is that they can not only take the ball outside, but they can get you those tough yards inside. And that was a perfect example of that. Not much of a hole there, but Daigle got the 4 yards on first down. This is the kind of yardage you like to get on the first down play.
Aztecs need to apply some pressure on Dilfer. But he goes back to pass. He's sitting in the pocket. And when he doesn't sit in the pocket, he rolls. The delay. Not a lot of running room there. Rod Rivers, a little bit of a crease, but the Aztecs and Demario Evans reacted to that quickly. And once again, Fresno State looking at third down and 5. This has been the down where Dilfer's been so accurate.
Well, they've been perfect on third down, and he'll get to play in as David Dunn comes on. You might look for a guy like that to be on the receiving end. So far dominating the total offense yardage.
And again, they started from there too, and these Bulldogs have reached the Aztec 28. Charlie Jones wide left. Lee Harris wide right. For Harris, first down at the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. He skips out of bounds, and the Bulldogs, these receivers doing a very good job. San Diego State's defensive backs with a big cushion, and they're taking full advantage of it.
Well, that's exactly what they'll do. They'll take what San Diego State will give them, and you're going to see a great piece of work along the sideline by Lee Harris. When he turns that ball's in the air, he pulls it in, and look at the feet. Gets those feet in bounds. He does that about as good as anyone on this team.
Ball near the Aztec 15, and 4 for 4 on third downs. Dunn on the tight end reverse. First and goal at the 3-yard line. That's a new play that the Bulldogs, that new wrinkle brought in tonight by Jim Sweeney, and just implemented it into the game plan earlier this week.
They wanted to put a 2 tight end offense into the game plan because San Diego State had not seen Fresno State in 2 tight ends this year, and they expected they'd be able to use it down when they got inside the red zone, going in toward the end zone. He was 1 block away from breaking this for a touchdown, but it's certainly a big play in any event.
First and 4 for a Bulldog touchdown. Rivers. Touchdown, his 13th of the year. And fittingly, it's 13-0 Fresno State.
And this has to be just what the doctor ordered for the Bulldogs. Ron Rivers going inside, picks a little hole, makes a little fake, and lunges across the end zone for that touchdown to give the Bulldogs a 2-touchdown lead. And I think they're playing on emotion right now as well as anything.
The one time the Aztecs had the ball, they hit a big pass to Darnay Scott, and then the Bulldog defense held Marshall Falk and company. Mahoney, the PAT is up and good. He's 2 for 2. And as they come back down the field, 6:13 left first quarter. The Bulldogs early lead by 14-0. America First Real Estate Broker, California Department of Real Estate. A 98-yard drive, and Fresno State scores again. Ron Rivers taking it in. Jim Sweeney's team up on Al Luganville and company by 14-0. 6:13 left opening quarter. Another short kickoff. Taken on the far sideline. And the Bulldogs cover well, and San Diego State will start from right around their 26-yard line of the Rivers 4-yard run. And again, 98 yards. The Bulldog offense has been on the field twice and has 2 touchdowns.
And that's a heartbreaking kind of drive for a San Jose State defense. One of the interesting things I was watching on that kickoff, you might think that Derek Mahoney's not kicking it so well. He's kicking the ball right at Jim Sweeney. If we can watch maybe on the next kickoff, Coach Sweeney is running down to a sideline spot, waving his arms. That's where Derek Mahoney's kicking the ball.
Slot left with Ray Peterson in the slot for the Aztecs. Marshall Falk only to the 29, maybe the 30. Chris Rockwell and Ron Papazian. Boy, what a year Papazian has had, number 95. Leads the Bulldogs in tackles. 3rd in the WAC, averaging nearly 13 tackles a game. And Rockwell being attended to. 17 rushing touchdowns for Falk. He's caught 1 other. And he's one of the leading scorers in the country. For 108 points. In fact, he's 3rd in the nation.
And for all of those great numbers he has, that 5.3 average, Ron Rivers, I believe, has an average of 6.3. Rivers averages 1 yard better per carry than Marshall Falk.
Yeah, the tandem of Daigle and Rivers has more yardage this year than Falk, but Marshall's had another big year. Gutierrez rolling and looking to throw. And Darnay Scott dropped it. Running a deep out, and perhaps Scott a little bit rusty. And again, he's had back trouble and missed the BYU game. And Gutierrez and the Aztecs are looking at 3rd and 6.
Well, this is the kind of situation that Fresno State's defense wants to be in. They don't want Marshall Falk to run crazy tonight. They would rather see the Aztecs throw the ball. This would be a passing situation for San Diego State. That's an advantage for the defense. They know kind of what to play. They can expect a pass and not worry too much about the run.
3 wide receivers in the game. Gutierrez 1 of 3. Looking at 3rd and 6. Flag is down, and they'll stop play. Like that play clock had wind all the way down.
We got an indication of what they were going to do on defense. Looked like the Bulldogs were getting ready to blitz them.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd and 11 for Gutierrez. Wayne Pittman checks in the ball game, as does Jake Nyberg, and the Bulldogs have numerous substitutions as well.
And it looks like Rockwell is back in the game, which is good news because he had that neck injury earlier this year, and you always wonder about that when he goes out.
3rd and 11. Bulldog Stadium hollering for a defensive stop. That's a first down and a good grab by Marshall Faulk, running a pattern out across the 40. And again, that's where Faulk is much improved from the last 2 years. He was 9th in the balloting as a freshman for the Heisman Trophy. Last year, he was the runner-up to Gino Torretta, and he had great rushing numbers. But this year, as you can see, coming in 35 grabs. And he's dangerous going out on the flanks.
He's the second leading scorer on that team behind Darnay Scott. And, of course, that does give you a weapon. Anytime you can get the ball in the hands of Marshall Faulk, you got something going.
First down at the 41. Faulk explodes for 5. Chris Peters in the middle with Chris Rockwell finally gang tackle Marshall Faulk. Let's take another look at the form of a first-team All-American in the Football News and Kodak.
Just such a tremendous talent. He's looking for a hole, looking for a little seam, breaks through, and that's good yardage on first down. That'll keep you going. You get that kind of yardage every time you get the ball, you're in good shape.
And we'll give him closer to 6. He has 56 career rushing touchdowns. Had quite a year and 3 seasons at San Diego. Second down and 4. Curtis Shear has a first down at the Fresno State 45.
This is an important series for the Aztecs. Certainly they want to get something going here and put something on the board on this drive, even if it's just a field goal. But the little quick drop by Gutierrez and throws the out there to Shear. Defensive backs are playing a little soft. James Burton comes up to secure the stop.
Burton's really had a good year. He has 14 pass breakups, which is the best in the WAC. But that time, Shear was able to find some room. Aztecs on a sustained drive. And Faulk, 5 more yards.
They're crossing up the Fresno State defense a little bit on this drive. You know, you expect them to come in here with 2 tight end formations, play power football, and give the ball to Marshall Faulk. Well, they go triple right receivers on that one and still hand the ball off. You think they're in a passing formation. Faulk gets it, picks up good yardage.
Talk about Rivers. You know, Ron Rivers 17 times in his career over 100. He's in his senior year and finishing out a wonderful campaign here at Fresno State. In 3 seasons, Faulk 22 times over 100 yards. Second down and 4. And Faulk with a flag down would have a first down, but we must check this penalty marker. Papazian was still another stop.
It's in the area where you expect a holding penalty.
And that's the call.
You talked about Marshall Faulk's 100-yard games. One of those games of the 8, I think he's played 30 games, and 8 he has not gone over 100 yards. You see the holding there. One of those games was the Fresno State game where he only carried the ball 2 times and was out with an injury. So
Against the offense.
it's hard to hold that one against him.
10-yard penalty, spot a foul. Repeat second down.
Well, he had 2 carries for 21 yards and a touchdown last year before being injured. And then Pittman came in. Wayne Pittman, he carried 22 times for 90 yards, and then he broke his leg. So the Aztecs were not fortunate in the backfield in the 45-41 loss a year ago. Still smarting from that loss. They would have gone to the Holiday Bowl had they won the game. Second and 13. Approaching 3 minutes left first quarter with the Dogs leading 14-0. For Faulk. Tough for Papazian to defend him in the open field, and it's a first down for San Diego State.
Papazian has great speed, great lateral speed, covers the field as well as anybody, but that's a mismatch when he's on Marshall Faulk trying to catch up with that guy.
That's a first down for San Diego State.
Faulk comes out in motion in the backfield and sets up almost in a slot. And just a little drag pattern over the middle. Papazian, you can see, is already behind in this battle. Gets a little help from Tommy Jones.
Aztecs at the Dog 31-yard line. Another flag. Faulk very little there. Gene Smith, first one to greet him.
In on the tackle, number 7, Sam Watson.
Another flag against San Diego State. An illegal motion.
A little ragged on that when they came to the line. Kind of loose in their sets. Bulldogs had that play diagnosed correctly. They were stacked against the run.
Number 44, Wayne Pittman in at running back for San Diego State.
Motion against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Wayne Pittman, number 44, has come into the backfield for San Diego State. His brother Mike Pittman is a very fine freshman running back for Fresno State and was recruited but elected to come to Fresno rather than join his brother and play for the Aztecs. Number 44, the elder Pittman, Wayne, the junior, in the ballgame, replacing Marshall Falk for the moment. 3 receivers, trips to the left side, 1st and 15. Darnay Scott, another flag. Scott's to the 14-yard line with an apparent first down, but again, a marker is down.
That play you might have a call on James Burton, who's going to be the guy covering Darnay Scott tonight. You talk about a day of work at the office. He's going to have a long time trying to cover this guy, but he's the best cover guy the Bulldogs have.
Al Luganville wanting a call.
Holding against the defense. Penalties decline. First down.
That was a 22-yard gain.
22-yard pickup. Gutierrez to Darnay Scott. There's Luganville. Normally, he'll pace like an expectant father.
You know, we haven't seen that tonight. But I expect we will before this game is over. You'll see Al Luganville up and down the sidelines like a Tasmanian devil.
2 minutes, 11 seconds left first quarter. Bulldogs leading 14-0, but the Aztecs are driving inside the Fresno State 15. Falk for only 2. Chris Rockwell, Ron Papazian, and Lance Thomas.
And they almost tell you what they're going to do on defense when they come out with that double tight end formation and Falk in the backfield. Got a pretty good idea he's going to get it.
Sunday, Martin and Gina love Thanksgiving, but when she invites both their families over, it becomes the holiday from hell. During an all-new episode of Fox's new hit comedy, Martin, tomorrow night at 8 on your station, KMPH, Fox 26. 2nd down and 8. Bulldogs showing the blitz. Gutierrez reads it and throws it, and it's picked off by Burton. Gutierrez, little fast feet there, Ralph, when he saw the blitz, and he threw it to Burton of the Dogs.
Well, that's what Fresno State was hoping to do to this young quarterback. Not tremendously experienced. They were hoping they could throw a blitz at him and rattle him a bit. Here we had the matchup. James Burton trying to watch Darnay Scott. A little in front of Scott, but Burton is right there. Makes the interception and puts the knee down. With a touchback, Bulldogs will take over on the 20.
In defense of Gutierrez, who was pressured by Bell and Papazian. That was just excellent coverage from Burt.
Little anticipation by James on the pass defense, and he was there to make the great catch. And that's another heartbreaker for San Diego State. They had an excellent drive going. They come up with nothing.
Minute 28 left of the first quarter. The Dogs, after the interception by Burton, lead 14-0. Challenging Lou Holtz in charging up and down the sideline. Al Luganville not happy with a 14-0 deficit, and knowing that Trent Dilfer gets the football back at the 20-yard line after the James Burton interception. The Bulldogs coming up with big defensive play. Dilfer 6 of 9 for 78 yards and a touchdown. Play action, and Dilfer's looking long for Charlie Jones. Jones was working deep with Chris Johnson, and Johnson bumped him just enough to deny Charlie Jones the ball.
A little bit of bumping down there on the deep pattern. Trent Dilfer talking to the official, trying to get a penalty out of it, but that wasn't going to happen. Even if a guy threw a flag, he'd say, well, one of those uncatchable balls.
Let's check in with Kevin Sweeney.
Randy, down there on that interception, Brad Bell, the defensive lineman for Fresno State, is a big key for that interception for James Burton. He got his hands up in Gutierrez's face, made him, at my angle, perfectly, made him throw the ball farther in front of the receiver, thus a big pick by Burton.
What you want to do, Kevin, you want to get those guys in on the quarterback and force them to make mistakes. Slot right for Dilfer. Anthony Daigle has a first down. Terrell Steen finally gets to him at the 40-yard line. 20 on that pickup. And hasn't Daigle been splendid coming out of the backfield, catching aerials from this guy, Trent Dilfer?
Daigle, of course, multifaceted offensive weapon, but again, you got to get credit to that offensive line. They are still giving Trent Dilfer all day to throw back there, pick out his open receivers, and hit them.
Daigle, 35 receptions this year, over 500 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's receiving Anthony Daigle. Of course, he's the all-time touchdown leader at Fresno State. All at the 40-yard line, and Fresno State has been dominant offensively. 7 of 11 Las Vegas numbers for Dilfer. Addy kneels down, feeling that the Aztecs came across and made contact.
That's a little thing that the Bulldogs do between Jason James and Trent Dilfer. They try and get that defensive guy leaning or coming over the line.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
In this case, I think it was Taraj Smith, number 98. And then when James senses that he's over the line, he'll just snap it anyway and get the penalty.
Now the Aztecs have been ticketed 4 times tonight. Bulldogs were hit once, but San Diego State had a big play and refused the penalty. Sebron and Dunn split to the right side. Daigle and Jamal Duff, number 48, with a terrific play to penetrate. Loss of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Jamal Duff is 2nd team all WAC in 92, and watch number 48 sniff out the play.
There he shows you why he was 2nd team all WAC. That play going nowhere. Not even Anthony Daigle can get out of 3 guys going after him.
Final 25 seconds of the first quarter that has been owned by the team in red. The Bulldogs 14-0. 2nd down and 8. For Dunn, first down at the 40-yard line. Tackle in the secondary by the strong safety Chris Johnson, 18 yards. Dilfer to Dunn. And Dilfer waited and exercised patience so diligently.
A couple of guys congratulating each other on coming up with a kind of improvising the play there. David Dunn gets a pat on the behind from Coach Sweeney, but of course Trent Dilfer bought the time and found the receiver.
Bulldogs are driving. Time has expired in the first quarter. Fresno State 14-0 over the Aztecs. We begin the second quarter at Bulldog Stadium with Fresno State leading San Diego State 14-0. Dilfer 16 yards to Jeff Arnold for 1 score. Ron Rivers a scamper of 4 yards for another. And the Bulldogs, stationed at the Aztec 40, have a first down. Dilfer throwing for over 100 yards in the opening quarter. He was 8 of 12 for 116. He's thrown back to Daigle, who's by himself. He's out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Another play diagrammed by Jim Sweeney on the blackboard earlier in the week.
Another one out of double tight end formation, and that was in when they come up in that formation, they have a trend that they know that San Diego State is going to come up with a certain defense. When they get the look they want, they know this is the play they're going to run. You saw him fake to Daigle. Daigle comes out of the backfield. He is wide open. Nobody near him. Almost gets it all the way into the touchdown. Tries to do a tightrope back, and I'm not sure that he didn't make it into the touchdown.
Sure looked like he got it.
Step out of bounds here? I don't think so.
I don't think so. 36 yards to the 4. That's what they call a special play designed to beat the defense that they saw in the film. 1st and 4 for another Bulldog touchdown. Rivers to the 1-yard line.
Around 2 yards, down to about the 2-yard line. Stop by Darryl.
Rod Rivers has his 13th rushing touchdown this year. Our Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Page first quarter statistics. And I think the one that sticks out the most is only 23 yards rushing for San Diego State. They cannot win the football game with that kind of number. And obviously they're not.
And they're not going to be able to win the football game if they can't stop the Fresno State offense either.
T heavy. And Rivers near the goal line. 14 minutes left in the half, and the Bulldogs trying to go up by 3 touchdowns.
Very popular formation when they get around the goal line. T heavy, 3 guys in the backfield. Rivers trying to follow some blockers. Then he just tries to lean over the goal line and stretch the ball. They're going to have a shot at getting it in right here.
Just inches shy are the Bulldogs.
Power against power here on the line. The Bulldogs have been winning the battle of the lines all night.
T heavy. Daigle. Touchdown. And Trent Dilfer is so excited. Fireworks at the doghouse.
I think San Diego State has to be in a state of shock right now. Daigle just goes through a hole you could drive a truck through for the touchdown. And the Aztecs are in danger of getting blown out here. They're not stopping Fresno State at all.
And Derek Mahoney was 7 shy of Roman Anderson's all-time PAT mark before the night. And with this one, he's only 4 shy. He's 3 for 3. 13:36 left before intermission. The Bulldogs lead by 21-0 over the Aztecs. It's time for This Week in Bulldog Sports, brought to you by Texaco, the star of the American road. The Bulldog volleyball team plays its final match of the season tonight. That'll be against Utah in Salt Lake City. The Fresno State men's basketball squad will be back in action this Tuesday night against Spartak Moscow in an exhibition game. Tickets are still available. Call 278-DOGS for more information. This Week in Bulldog Sports has been brought to you by Texaco, the star of the American road. Bulldogs with another long touchdown drive. Daigle takes it in from short yardage. Don't go away. These Aztecs fully capable of scoring. They've scored over 40 in the last 2 games as you look at the scoring drive. But they lost both of them, 45-44 to BYU and 45-41 to Utah. Taken at the 15-yard line by Pittman. To the 27-yard line, a 12-yard return. Omar Stoutmeyer made the stop. Well, this is a key drive fairly early in the football game for San Diego State. They have to stop the bleeding, and they have to move the football, and I think Ralph have to score some points.
Well, you're right. And defensively, this is a trend, a disturbing trend that's developed with them the last couple of games. They scored, 85 points in the last 2 games and gave up 90.
Falk, 7 carries, only 22 yards so far this evening. That's been critical. This is Falk. And he gets 2 or 3, and that's all. Tripped up by Chris Rockwell. And again, if Falk cannot manufacture 5 to 7 yards on that first down, that gives Fresno State a pretty good opportunity on 2nd and 3rd down defensively.
And then the thing that you get into is when you fall behind like this, do you go away from Marshall Falk and do you start trying to throw the football? That's another problem that San Diego State faces because Falk is such a great weapon.
Willie Robinson, the defensive coordinator of Fresno State, says this is our biggest defensive challenge against the most talented team in the league. And so far, his dogs have responded. 2nd down and nearly 8. Watson with the interception. Sam Watson looking to reverse his field, and now he can go to the 10, at the 5, touchdown! 36 yards, it's all dogs.
Well, you've got the 2 great defensive back seniors coming up with big plays. First James Burton, and now Watson. As you see, Falk just slipped. You can't really blame Gutierrez, although it wasn't a great throw. Then watch Watson put on the moves. He will double back, go from one side of the field all the way to the other, trying to pick up a little picket
By the
line.
intercepting team, after possession, we got a 10-yard penalty at that spot. First down.
You see the touchdown, the excitement that the touchdown generated on the sideline. They got a little demonstration penalty, I guess, on the run back, which will call the touchdown back.
Well, apparently it was an illegal block.
Bad block.
So the Bulldogs will begin from their 20-yard line. So the illegal block into the back on the return, but the Watson interception stands, and Fresno State has it at the 20-yard line. But what fireworks from Sam Watson.
Terrific moment for Watson on that play. Now you see Fresno State the last couple of games exhibiting the killer instinct, especially in the last game. And now they have a chance to do that once again.
First down at the 20. Watson does not get the touchdown, but the Bulldogs have the second pick of Gutierrez. Rivers to the 19, and that is all. Scott Blade, the middle linebacker, with the hit. Once again, Watson's interception stands, an illegal block on the return. And the Bulldogs starting from the Aztec 20, leading 21-0.
It's an exciting thing to see. Unfortunately, the block there nullifying the touchdown. But the Bulldogs do have the ball on offense with a chance to add to that lead.
12 minutes left, first half, 21-0 Fresno State. For Winans, touchdown. Ralph, these defensive backs one-on-one cannot handle the Fresno State receivers. Not the way Dilfer delivers the ball.
No, and they get burned on a blitz on this play. The Aztecs coming with a blitz. Dilfer waits it out over the middle to Winans, hauls it in for the touchdown. And this is what happened to San Diego State last week against Brigham Young. John Walsh just ripped their defensive backs apart.
Walsh threw 5 touchdowns a week ago, and Dilfer's fired 2. And Mahoney closing in on Roman Anderson, has 4 PATs. He's 3 away from the all-time record. It's 28-0 Fresno State. We still have nearly 12 minutes left in the first half. Bulldogs with another 7 on the board. Dilfer to Winans, and it's 28-0. And Sam Watson's interception gave Fresno State great field position. They started the drive from the Aztec 20-yard line. And Mahoney again to kick off.
Jim Sweeney is positioned at about the 25-yard line and expect Mahoney to kick the ball right at him.
A little bit deeper this time. And Curtis Shear with the return. And driven down hard at the 29-yard line. And knocked down hard by Johnny Johnson. Johnson might be a little bit angry. He lost his free safety position. Starter a year ago, and
that's right,
taking out his frustration on the specialty team.
I think that's funny, though, what they're doing with the kicks. You have to keep an eye on Jim Sweeney. We'll watch him for you. It's probably a little game they're playing with the Aztecs. First, they get thinking they know what they're going to do on the kickoffs, and they cross them up.
First down at the 29. Gutierrez remains in. He's been intercepted twice. And this is Marshall Faulk. Sam Watson playing quite a football game tonight, isn't he?
Watson playing on emotion and adrenaline right now, even though he had that interception touchdown run called back. He does have the interception, and that's a great thing for a senior in his last game at Bulldog Stadium in front of the home crowd. Watch Faulk with a little cutback, but he cuts back right into the defenders. Ron Papazian there in the bottom of the pile, and Sam Watson cleaning up.
Keep in mind, Wyoming and BYU lost earlier today, and the Bulldogs still have a shot at the Holiday Bowl. And they're blitzing. And Faulk spinning outside. That's a terrific effort by Marshall Faulk. He's short of the first down, but how did he get away from all that traffic? And boy, can he exploit.
That's the great thing about Marshall Faulk, just such great athletic ability. That play was going nowhere. He made something out of it.
There is a flag down, and Gene Wirtz again will give us the indication the Bulldogs were offside. Sweeney, he's got to appreciate what he's seen so far in the half. We still have 10:59 remaining. Of course, the Bulldogs did this to Hawaii last week. Led at the break 35-0.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Tim Gutierrez from Oxnard, California, prepped at Santa Clara High School. See the disparity in the yardage. Aztecs have gotten into Fresno territory on 2 occasions. James Burton picked off a Gutierrez pass in the end zone, and the first drive stalled out at the 39, and they punted. 2nd and 2. Ball nowhere. 3rd down for San Diego State. Ron Papazian and Omar Stoutmeyer.
That's the plan of the Fresno State defense, too. They'll put a run blitz on. They'll hope to stop Marshall Faulk. Willie Robinson, the defensive coordinator, was telling us it's kind of feast or famine on a play like that because you're really taking a gamble. Either you knock him down like you did there, or he might get by you. And if he does that, he's got clear sailing, and that could be a problem. You find yourself chasing him down to the goal line.
Interesting call on 3rd and 2. Will Gutierrez pass, or will he give it to Faulk? Aztecs are 1 of 2 in 3rd down conversion. And they'll stay with Faulk. And depending on the spot, and this will be very close. Chris Peters came over from the linebacking spot to make the tackle. We'll have a measurement. Even if they're short, I would imagine down 28-0, Al Luganville would have to go for it.
It's a tough gamble, but you're right. You don't want to get that ball over to the Fresno State offense again. I think he's going to be a little bit short. But if you turn the ball over here on downs, you're really shooting yourself in the foot.
They are short. I think he has to go for it. You got to believe in your offense enough to pick up a half a yard, especially when you're down 28-0. And in particular, the way Dilfer's been able to drive the Bulldogs every time. I would not punt the ball.
At this point, he has nothing to lose, really. He'll go power formation, a couple of tight ends there, and probably give it to Marshall Faulk and see if he can get the half yard he needs.
Listen to Bulldog Stadium now. The challenge is on. They want their Bulldog defense to hold. And here come the Aztecs. Faulk in the tail of the tandem. Power I formation. Zach Smith, an extra tight end, lined up in the backfield. Faulk. First down, Aztecs to the 42. Ron Papazian with the hit. That was fun to watch. 2 teams going at it.
And the crowd getting into it, trying to incite something. Faulk takes the football, looks for the hole, bounces off Burton. Papazian comes in, but he's got the first down.
In talking with Willie Robinson yesterday, the defensive coordinator of Fresno State, we were all talking about how hard Marshall Faulk runs. Forget the numbers. He runs hard. You can see it right there.
You don't often see him get into collisions like that. But, yeah, that's a great example of what he puts into his game.
At the 42, the Aztecs, it's early, but there's somewhat a feeling of desperation on their part. Down by 4 touchdowns at 28-0 with 9 minutes left in the half. And Faulk continues to get a lot of work.
Well, I guess they've answered the question about what do you do with your game plan. Do you go away from Marshall Faulk and try to throw the football, or do you keep giving it to the guy? And on that play, there was really nothing there. That one never developed. And every time you stop Marshall Faulk, you pick your defense up a little bit more.
2nd down and a long 7. And again, Gutierrez has been picked off twice. He's been bothered by the blitz. Bulldogs showcased that blitz, and Gutierrez wants a timeout. He was rattled previously, and he wants to get his thoughts all on the same page. 8:36 left in the half. It's 28-0.
The Chico's Italian restaurant, all the Italian that you need to know.
Thank you, Fresno, for voting to Chico's the Valley's best Italian restaurant. We're grateful for your 37 years of patronage to all of our family-owned Valley locations.
Tante grazie. The Chico's Italian restaurant, all the Italian that you need to know. The Chico's.
Fans are definitely into this one with the wave. Better than 40 grand are here. 28-0. The Bulldogs have been splendid to this point. 8:36 remaining in the half. San Diego State has worked the ball out to their 45, and they're looking at 2nd and 8. Randy Rosenblum, Ralph Wood, and Kevin Sweeney. From the house with electricity tonight, the Doghouse in Fresno. Gutierrez for Maxwell. No good. DeAndre Maxwell, the young man from Bullard High School right here in Fresno, could not control. It's 3rd down and 8.
Larry Cook playing the defense, coming in the nickelback situation, able to get a hand in there and kind of rock it loose from DeAndre Maxwell. He came off a good game last week against Brigham Young.
Yeah, he had a juggling catch for a touchdown against the Cougars. Darnay Scott, number 6, checking back in. You see the quarterback comparison, and quite candidly, there is none. It's been all Dilfer. 3rd and 8. It's noisy again. Incomplete. Flag is down. They took Darnay Scott off his feet.
Number 6, Darnay Scott. Incomplete. James Burton, number 19, defending on.
I think you're going to see a call on James Burton one more time here. Scott had a step on him, and he may have come out and grabbed him a bit.
Pass interference, defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Aztecs trailing by 28-0 will take every little edge they can muster up. The ball to the Bulldog 40.
And for the Fresno State defense, they're getting the situations they want. They want San Diego State in the 3rd and long situations where they know they have to pass.
Peterson, Nyberg, and Scott all deployed to the left side for Gutierrez. Throws that one away. Pressure from the inside from Smith and Demetrius Edwards. As these teams went at it last year near the end of the half at Jack Murphy Stadium, and it's good to see that the officials intervene and separate them.
It was an unfortunate situation last year where they had that big fight right near the tunnels heading back to the locker room.
That caused Al Luganville to use a film system on the sideline. He'll suspend a player now if they get in any kind of fisticuffs if he sees them come off the sideline on film. He actually videotapes the sideline. Right now he's got to be concerned with the line of scrimmage, which has been won so far by Fresno State. To the late of Falk. And Andre Deshay horse collars him. It'll be 3rd and long for San Diego State as we approach 8 minutes remaining in the 1st half. Bulldogs 28, San Diego State nothing.
And everything is coming up Bulldogs to this point in the game. You know, you run a play like that, you run it right into a defensive guy. Every play that they stop Marshall Falk, they feel a little better. They get a little more adrenaline. They play a little longer. They stay on the blocks a little longer, hit a little harder.
Falk utilized in the slot on the left side. 3rd and 11. Aztecs 2 of 4 on 3rd down conversion. Scott coming back to get the ball, but he's shy of the 1st down. Gene Smith, Tommy Jones, and the rest. That's not the pattern you want to run on 3rd and 11.
No, why don't you go up and get past the 1st down yardage, get the yardage you need before you throw the ball. A lot of people just don't understand why you do that. You know how much yardage you need for the 1st down. You don't get to that point.
Tommy Jones, number 4, and James Burton, number 19.
On 4th down and 5, you can bet the crowd's about to raise the decibel level again when they see the Aztecs come out and try to convert. 4th and 5. Keith Williams wide left. Maxwell, Tate, and Falk to the right. Pittman is the lone running back behind Gutierrez. On 4th and 5. This one is completed for a 1st down to Falk. Dropped by Sam Watson. So Marshall Falk, a critical conversion there.
That was another situation where Fresno State knew what they were going to do. They got him in the four-man rush. Got four down linemen in on those passing situations. Tried to put a little pressure on Gutierrez because he's not responded well to pressure so far in this game. But he did make a good play on that one. Falk made a good play at the other end to hang on to the ball with Sam Watson trailing him.
That was a good catch by Falk, but an even better throw by Tim Gutierrez. Wayne Pittman, the lone running back behind Tim Gutierrez. The deep out for Darnay Scott is too deep. Wanted that deep corner route. He had a step on James Burton, but Gutierrez threw it too far.
Watch this. You'll see he gets Burton turned around a little bit. You see James looking one way, then back the other, and when he looks up, the ball is already on its way. A better throw might have been a touchdown. Darnay Scott, great effort to try and catch that ball.
Timeout. Fresno State.
Bulldogs with the timeout want to
Their
collect
first
their
timeout.
thoughts defensively, and they've been very good so far. San Diego State on a 13-play drive. And they desperately need to score with the Bulldogs leading by 28-0. Now, Monday night, catch the outrageous comedy blockbuster. You want to see this one on HBO. You won't see it on HBO or Showtime. Beethoven, there it is. We'll slide that one in for you. 200 pounds of slobbering family fun. I like that. Monday at 8 on Fox Night at the Movies, only on your station, KPH Fox 26. Again, that's Monday night. You won't see that on any of those paid channels. 6:15 left. It's been a crazy day in college football, and there may be the craziest. Notre Dame was 3 touchdowns behind in the fourth quarter, rallied to take the lead, and BC won it on the final play on a long field goal. Miami falls to undefeated West Virginia in Morgantown. Ohio State blanked at Ann Arbor, and Michigan could be coming out west. Alabama falls, and Auburn finishes 11-0. Auburn, what a job by Terry Bowden, who I think should be the NCAA Coach of the Year.
Not bad for a rookie head coach in college football, huh? With that team, anyway.
Quarterback Stan White, outstanding player. Congratulations to Auburn, probation year. They go 11-0. That was their bowl game today.
First year at Auburn for Terry Bowden. His dad would be proud of Florida State.
Yeah, his dad's winning big tonight early against NC State. 2nd down and 10. Touchdown. And a great throw by Gutierrez. Marshall Falk, his 2nd receiving touchdown of the season and his 19th overall.
And you talk about great concentration. Falk zeroed in on that ball. Gutierrez with a terrific pass. And you're going to see Sam Watson, the defender, number 7 here, really never even look. He never saw this ball coming. He had no idea that the ball was there. Touchdown, San Diego State, and maybe a little bit of hope for the Aztecs. That gives them a little boost.
A lot of key plays, conversions in that drive, a couple 4th down conversions. Nyberg spots it. Peter Holt drives it up and throw, and it's 28-7. Kevin Sweeney, that turns it around a little bit. Some momentum for the Aztecs.
That's right, Randy, and just a tremendous catch by Marshall Falk. Randy, when I was with the Dallas Cowboys, I had the fortunate opportunity to play with Herschel Walker, who was a tremendous athlete, much like Falk, had outstanding speed and an uncanny ability to catch the football. And for Marshall Falk to be able to, how many receptions does he have now? Maybe 6, 7 receptions. Tough, good, close defense, and he's coming down with the football. It's going to turn into be a barn burner.
You know, Kevin, I felt that Gutierrez showed a lot of moxie on that drive with some big throws when he could have been stopped, and that really might have terminated this game.
Well, termination, that's right, Randy. As a quarterback, when you go into a football game and you're down by 28 points, you really have nothing to lose. So San Diego State went for it twice on 4th down in that series. It's against all odds, and they got nothing to lose. Fresno State's got to capitalize, hold on to the football. That's a long drive by San Diego State. Hold on to the football, keep that defense off so they can get fresh.
28-7. Bulldogs leading. And again, they beat this football team at Jack Murphy Stadium a year ago, 45-41. Now, the Bulldogs don't want that kind of conclusion when it comes down to the wire tonight. Not after jumping out 28-0. Of course, last year, Titus Winans made that spectacular catch with 14 seconds left to propel the Bulldogs into the Freedom Bowl. Who knows where a victory might propel them tonight. Holt, short kickoff. Taking it to 23-yard line. And Mike Pittman brings it out to the 34 or 35. So an 11-yard return by Mike Pittman. He and his brother playing against one another tonight. Of course, Mike, the freshman for the Bulldogs. There's the scoring drive, and took a lot of plays and it took a lot of effort, but it was certainly much needed for the Aztecs.
And it might have taken a bit out of the Fresno State defense. So now the offense has the job of trying to control the football for a few minutes, run some time off the clock, move those chains down the field, give the defense a chance to rest up.
Well, the Bulldogs with 4 first-half touchdowns, leading by 28-7. Aztecs had been improving defensively, but suddenly 2 games ago against Utah, things went awry. Again, last week against BYU. And here tonight, they haven't been able to stop anybody. Ron Rivers into the middle of the line, and there's a marker down. There's a tendency when you get a big lead to go flat, and the Bulldogs must guard against that.
Well, they're not, you look at them come out and let's hear the penalty. Well, it's a hold against the Bulldogs, so that'll go back 10 yards. You see the offense come out here and you wonder, well, why are they running it up the middle like that? Well, that's part of the ball control thing.
Holding against offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
This is the guy that's running the ball is Ron Rivers, and he's the all-time leading rusher for Fresno State.
And they've had success tonight doing that. They've been controlling the line of scrimmage, and you expect a guy like Rivers to get 2, 3, 4 yards a pop. So you put the ball in his hands, hand off to Daigle, maybe do some short passing, trying to keep the ball between the sidelines, run some time off the clock while you're moving your team down the field.
Gopher moving ahead of Kevin Sweeney. All-purpose yardage this year. He's going to have to block for Rivers, who reverses his field and has some room. And a good straight arm. That's a great effort by Rivers. Close to the first down. And he and Thomas Steen exchanging pleasantries.
Yeah, things are starting to heat up a little bit, aren't they, Randy? You get that touchdown, you feel like San Diego State's back in the game. Looked like they had a big play on defense here. They had that side all closed off. Rivers reverses his field. Dilfer throws a block. Jason James with a big hit. If Ron Collins could hit a block out there in front, Rivers might have gone away. And then things get ugly on the sideline with the takedown.
Where Rivers went out of bounds, the Bulldogs still need nearly 10 yards. Second and 10 and a half, nearly 11. Quick out, and a wide open receiver, and it's Lee Harris. These defensive backs are overmatched. And again, it's up to that defensive front to put heat on Dilfer. And if they don't, it's going to be big, big plays all night long.
That's what we've been talking about all night. If they don't get any pressure, they don't get any pass rush, they've got no chance. Lee Harris, one of the great route runners on this team. And it's hard to stop that. I mean, when a guy runs precise routes, Trent Dilfer, his timing is so good. His accuracy is impeccable. He throws the ball on a break. There's virtually no chance for a defensive back to come in and make a play on him.
First down at the 47, Lee Harris with his 30th catch of the year. And here's Anthony Daigle running hard for another first down to the 41 of the Aztecs.
And you can see the Bulldogs doing exactly what they wanted to do now. They're keeping the ball. They're controlling. They're not going for the gambles or the big plays at this point. They're giving the defense time to rest. Daigle with a great second effort, keep his balance there and pick up another 5-6 yards.
I don't think the Dogs have been stopped in this half. They're 4 for 4. I remember at Baylor, they scored all 5 times in the first half, and they could not put Baylor away in the third quarter. And the Bears came back and won the game, and Fresno State trying to duplicate the first half effort and score every time. Down to 5 minutes left in the half. They lead 28-7. Dilfer in trouble. Somehow finds the receiver inside the 40-yard line. David Dunn coming back to help out his distressed quarterback.
Bulldogs going into that 2 tight end offense. We talked about that earlier. They go into the 2 tight ends. They look and see. They get what they expect in defensive coverage. It makes things a little helpful. There you see the strong quarterback Trent Dilfer fighting his way out of trouble, and David Dunn helping him.
Picked up 3 yards. You know, Dilfer able to get out of the grasp of Jamal Duff, who's 6'7" and 250 pounds, and another big first half for Trent Dilfer. Pressured again. Still hits his target. It's Charlie Jones. Oh, how frustrating it must be for Leroy Glover, who was draped all over Dilfer, and at 6'5" and 236 pounds, this mountain of a man wiggled free.
He told us yesterday he's been between 233 and 236 all year, and look at him just shrug the guy off, stand in tall, deliver the ball right on the numbers of Charlie Jones.
And the guy he shrugged off, Leroy Glover, is one of the best defensive linemen in the WAC.
Aztecs are starting to get pass rush on, but they can't finish the play.
Well, Dilfer about to eclipse another one of Kevin's record. Kevin's on the sideline, and if I read the quote, Kevin, correctly, you say Trent Dilfer is your idol?
Just another game by Trent Dilfer.
Are you screaming on the sideline again?
I get up for these games a little bit.
I get the feeling you're losing your voice. You're also losing a lot of records.
Well, I would rather lose another 12 than anyone else. A great player. He's putting on a clinic, isn't he?
He is. If this is his last game at Bulldog Stadium, he is really putting on a show. He's doing everything you could ask of a quarterback.
That was a terrific play because Glover was there. And again, Leroy Glover out of Point Loma High School in San Diego. All-WAC candidate as a sophomore. Just a terrific specimen who was recruited heavily by Fresno State and elected to stay close to home, playing for the Aztecs, and he was right there. And we saw the strength of Dilfer hanging in and then finding the receiver.
We've seen him put a little pressure now on the quarterback the last couple of plays. Fortunately, Fresno State's been able to get out of it on the strength of that quarterback. Trent Dilfer able to push guys off and hang in there, deliver the football.
Trent's had a bruised shoulder this year. That's when he had those interceptions against Oregon State. But he told us he's 100%. Absolutely 100% as he faces off against the Aztecs. Tonight at 8 following the game, don't miss the only show that takes you to the front line in the war of crime. Cops. Followed at 9 by Fox's Cutting Edge News Magazine show. Front page. The action at 8 tonight only on your station, Fox 26. Dilfer again. Moving that pocket. Throwing into traffic, and it's incomplete. Lee Harris, the intended receiver. Coverage from Eric Sutton. And on that occasion, Dilfer challenged the secondary.
But he also rolled the pocket. They were feeling the pressure as we were talking about, so they go to a little rollout here to kind of get away from that pass rush. And you're right, he tried to thread the needle here, and actually it was a catchable ball. Lee Harris doesn't drop any of those, but there was good defense on the play as well.
Second down, line of scrimmage is the Aztec 18. Bulldogs again are 4 for 4, 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns, and they're threatening. Dilfer's thrown a couple touchdowns. Rivers and Daigle have rushed for a score each. Up to 256 in a row. Make it 257 to Titus Winans. It's first and goal, Bulldogs. And again, the cushion is too great. Easy pickings for these Bulldogs.
Well, when Trent Dilfer comes to the line, he's already reading the defense, and if he sees those guys back, he'll go to a 3-step drop and throw it out to him. And he's having things his way. He's seeing what he likes, and of course, nobody reads defenses better than this kid.
I know one thing, Al Luganville hopes it's his last game after what's happened the last couple of years.
Well, if he does leave, there's going to be a major transition undergone here by Fresno State.
Roberson wide right. Winans deployed to the left with Rivers behind Dilfer. Throws that one away, threw it over the head of Arnold. And the Aztecs are doing a better job of applying heat on Trent Dilfer.
They certainly did on that play. Sean Smith was right in his face, forced Dilfer to kind of throw it out into an area that he wasn't sure of. Fortunately, it wasn't picked off. We know he's got that interception streak going. He's not really concerned about that, as he told us, but that was kind of a just unloaded pass.
Number 99, Sean Smith, applying the pressure, and I wonder what he's thinking about tonight. He's a transfer from Notre Dame after BC upset the Irish in South Bend 41-39.
Well, he better be thinking about how to stop Trent Dilfer and the Bulldogs.
Second down and 7 for another Bulldog touchdown. Dilfer changing the call. Touchdown to Wyman. Well, he changed it to the right call. 3 more touchdowns in this half for Trent Dilfer.
Just another indication of what this young man can do on a football field. You saw him changing the play at the line of scrimmage, letting his receivers know he wanted them to change their routes, and fired the strike to Titus Winans for the score.
28 touchdown throws, building on his school record. He established it last week, getting to 25 and up to 28 now for Trent Dilfer. And Mahoney looking for his 5th PAT in the first half. And he's 2 away from the all-time record of Roman Anderson of the University of Houston as we take one more look at Trent Dilfer, once again giving Fresno State a 28-point lead. The touchdown to Winans.
A little concerned after San Diego State got its score, how the Bulldogs would respond. Well, you see it right here. Ball in the air. Winans makes a little break, a little push off there. The officials didn't see it. It's a touchdown. And that's how you answer a San Diego State score. You come back with a long offensive drive and put it in the end zone.
First half numbers for the All-American Dilfer. 15 of 21, 219 and 3 scores. And you can see it was a 61-yard drive. Didn't take a whole lot of time. And when we say All-American now, you know, everybody says their player's an All-American, but it's true. He was 13 Football News All-American behind Charlie Ward and Heath Schuler. And again, at halftime, we'll hear from Coach Sweeney from down on the field. Our Delta Airlines Bulldog Spotlight, fittingly enough, is Trent Dilfer. We'll have our KMPH news break, and then our Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Page highlights and stats. And the highlights and stats, for the most part, have been the Dogs, with the exception of one touchdown throw to Marshall Faulk. Short kick again. Fielded by Pittman. And he's rocked at the 27-yard line. Andre Deshay down on the special team coverage, and a flag is down. And that flag well after the fact.
Randy, you talked about him being a third-team All-American. Trent Dilfer, you've seen quite a bit of Charlie Ward.
Yeah, I have.
I'm curious to know, how do you think those two stack up? I know Ward has a great mobility factor, but does he have the knowledge of the game?
Yeah, Charlie Ward has really matured. I saw him last year. I'll get into it a little bit more after we get the indication, but he has really come on.
Dead ball, personal foul against the kicking team. Dead ball, personal foul against the receiving team. Penalties offset, first down.
Charlie Ward last year was a little bit immature and would make mistakes, especially early in the year. This year, Charlie Ward's a great football player. They're apples and oranges. You got Dilfer, who to me is the prototype NFL QB, and you have Charlie Ward, who you might have to build an offense around. But nobody scrambles better than Charlie Ward. I've never seen a football player quite like him. They're both great, and it's hard to compare them. You're going to be a winner with either one of them.
He makes some exciting plays. I know he gets in trouble and finds a way out and unloads it. But, yeah, he is also a great athlete, great quarterback, Charlie Ward.
Outstanding point guard. I'll say this. Ward's a better basketball player than Dilfer. How's that?
Oh, I don't know about that. Trent's pretty big.
Ward's a pretty good point guard.
He goes up strong.
See if the Aztecs can respond once again. Gutierrez. Faulk is wide open. Now there's a breakdown because Marshall Faulk should be guarded. How could you not cover Marshall Faulk?
Well, it looked like they came with a little blitz on that play. Faulk kind of snuck out around it, and he was there as a safety valve for Gutierrez.
16 yards on that safety valve pass, and the Aztecs with 3:53 left in the half, down 35-7. Their offense now is clicking. Scored the last time, and you sense that Gutierrez, after hitting critical passes in the last drive, has the confidence back after being intercepted twice early. Wide open. Will Tate. And Lance Thomas has him. Finally corrals him at the 21-yard line.
Well, you see San Diego State start to have a little success on offense here. They were moving the ball successfully earlier in the game, only stopping themselves. But here, the Bulldogs try and put a little pressure on. They're coming with the 4-man rush again. Gutierrez unloads it. Tate, as you said, is wide open in front of Lance Thomas. They're moving on offense, but so far they've shown no ability to be able to stop Fresno State on defense. And if you're just going to trade touchdowns the rest of the game, Jim Sweeney and the Bulldogs will take that.
Now Luganville's team showing its mettle, coming back down the field. Here comes the blitz. For Darnay Scott. Touchdown. No, he dropped it. Oh, he was wide open. Darnay Scott had it on his fingertips. That was a perfect throw from Gutierrez, and Darnay Scott plain and simply dropped it.
That was a beautiful pass, as you said. That was another blitz by the Bulldogs. And Gutierrez did a great job. Here you see the Bulldogs coming with everybody, and Gutierrez just gets it off. Don't see the end of it, but Darnay Scott had it in his hands and just flat out dropped it.
Aztecs now have built their total offense to 216 yards. In this first half, the Bulldogs have accumulated 331 yards. Second down and 10 at the Dog 21. Scott left. He's the dangerous receiver, and Gutierrez calls a timeout. They have one remaining. It's 35-7 Fresno State with 3:38 remaining. You know, viewing Lee Harris make that grab earlier made me think about college basketball with his brother Carl Ray Harris back in uniform for the Bulldogs and Gary Colson this year. Fresno State's basketball team right around the corner. And so is the Fresno State Quarterback Club, which meets each Thursday at noon at the Residence Dining Hall on campus. Hear what head coach Jim Sweeney has to say about past opponents and one more game for sure. The Bulldogs, no matter what happens tonight, figure to reach a bowl game. And he'll detail all that for you at the Fresno State Quarterback Club Thursdays at noon.
Gary Colson's basketball team played an exhibition game last Tuesday and won that game 108-84 over a team called Race Express, an amateur athletic team out of the Bay Area. Carl Ray, 17 points in that game. So they put some points on the board.
Chris Colford looked pretty good, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Seth Marshall at 22. Travis Dell 20. 16 rebounds for Lee Mayberry.
November 28th, the Hoopsters start against Cal Poly SLO at Celent Arena. Here, it's 2nd and 10 from the 21 of the Dog. Pittman is rattled and thrown for a loss by Crombie. Well, that draw didn't fool anybody, and it's 3rd and long.
And that was one of those blitzes. The Bulldogs are turning up the blitz meter now. And for Crombie, he ran his blitz right into the running lane and right into Pittman, as you'll see him coming from the top of the screen right there. Big hit by Crombie.
Pittman saying they don't hit Marshall Falk like that. I come in, they run me right into a blitz. Aztecs 2 of 5 on 3rd downs. They have a healthy total to negotiate here. 3rd and 14. Under 3 minutes to play in the half. Pressure from Brad Bell, his 9th sack of the year. That's 2nd in the WAC. Only Brent Schieffer of Wyoming has more. Number 54 engulfs Gutierrez. It's 4th down and long.
And another blitz for the Bulldogs. That's his 9th quarterback sack to lead the team. Brad Bell, one of those seniors playing his last game and really an anchor on this defensive line. He's done so much to improve himself this year. Bell comes right up the middle, fights off the block, and drops Gutierrez for the sack. Great defensive player, Brad Bell. He will be sorely missed.
46-yard attempt for Peter Holt. He's hit his last 7 in a row. Oh, he has a tremendous leg and knocks it through from 46 yards. And it's 35-10 Fresno State. And Peter Holt showing you why they are so high on his future. He's a redshirt freshman in San Diego.
San Diego State had to get something out of that possession. For their purposes, they're happy to get 3 points. And, of course, Fresno State has to be satisfied to have given up only 3 points on the play, coming up big on defense with a big 3rd down play by Crombie.
But what the Aztecs have done, they have left Trent Dilfer in the Bulldog offense 2 minutes and 7 seconds to try to come right down the field once again.
probably what you will see, because we've seen no indication that the Aztecs can stop them defensively.
Bulldogs have had it 5 times in the half. They're 5 for 5. And of course, they were 5 for 5 in the first half at Bailey. And Peter Holt will kick off to the dangerous David Dunn. John, only a junior. He'll be back here at Fresno next year. There's Peter Holt, who just hit from 46 yards out. Directed at Anthony Daigle from the 8-yard line. To the 34-yard line, where he's dropped by Steen, Terrell Steen. Well, the Bulldogs with fairly good field position after Daigle's 25-yard return. You can see that both teams are fully capable of putting a lot of points on the board. 48, the high water mark for both. Aztecs clobbered Minnesota. Now, defensively, Aztecs gave up a lot on the Thursday night to UCLA, and on another Thursday to BYU and to Cal. The Bulldogs gave up 45 to BYU, but won the game. The latter 3, they all dropped. Rivers popped and out of bounds he goes, taking a pretty good hit from Darrell Lewis.
Al Luganbill this week telling us that his defense the last 2 weeks absolutely has disintegrated. Del White is defensive coordinator for San Diego State. He was here at Fresno State as linebacker coach last year, and may not have left here under the best of circumstances.
Well, football indeed is a war of attrition, and these bodies get bruised and battered, and it's tough to be a good defensive team from the beginning of the year to the end of the season.
I think they figured if anybody would know how to stop the Bulldog offense, it would be a guy who coached on the squad last year.
Well, they stopped them on this occasion, but not a lot of teams have been able to stop Fresno State as Rivers has dropped for a setback. The Bulldogs average 37.4 points a game. That's the most in the WAC, and it's 8th in the nation. And they have 35 of this first half, but they're looking at 3rd down and 8. They don't convert here, they'll be stopped for the first time in the ball game. Minute 30 remains. Fresno State 35, Aztecs 10, very late in the second quarter. Bulldogs so far perfect on 3rd down conversion, 5 for 5. See what Dilfer can do here. Winans. And it's ruled out of bounds. Well, he hooked up with him, but Winans was outside the boundary. And with 1:10 remaining in the half, San Diego State will watch Derek Mahoney punt for the first time tonight.
And you're that close to keeping it going. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs can't make the first down and keep the drive alive.
Heath Schuler and company win 48-0. Florida getting ready for Florida State next week. Texas A&M only one early season loss. At Wisconsin now only one win away from the Rose Bowl. Looking for a shootout with UCLA. Wisconsin has their final game against Michigan State in Tokyo. Here's a fake by Mahoney. He needs to get to the 45. He has a first down. That was out of necessity.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a design fake. The rush was so great that Mahoney knew he had no chance to get it off, and he had to take off. He sees the pressure, and he is wide open on the far side. And that's a big break for the Bulldogs, and a great play by Derek Mahoney, who turns what could have been a disaster, a block punt, into a first down for the Bulldogs. The offense comes back out, keeps the ball with 1 minute left in the half.
Well, the Bulldogs still have not punted. They still have not been stopped. 17 yards on the run by the quarterback, Derek Mahoney. And now the Bulldogs, still with 1 timeout remaining and 61 seconds, are stationed at the Aztec 47. And Dilfer and company will go back to work. Penalty marker. That one's incomplete. Post pattern for Titus Winans. And let us check the penalty for you.
Penalty flags on each side of the field. There's actually 2 markers down. Little movement in the offensive line.
Looks like they're going to refuse it and make it second down.
Illegal procedure. 5 people in the backfield against the offense. Penalties declined. Second down.
Now, they don't want to give Dilfer another down, so it'll be second down and 10. 56 seconds remaining. Penn State potentially a team the Bulldogs could play if they end up in the Freedom Bowl. UCLA on its way to the Rose Bowl, holding off SC at the Coliseum 27-21. Colorado wins its 7th. They're 7-3-1. And K-State, another potential Bulldog team in a bowl, perhaps. Dilfer rolling out of the cup, buying time. It's a strike inside the 40 to Brian Roberson. Clock is running. They're short of the first down. Bulldogs will have to rush to the line of scrimmage.
Demario Evans be draped all over Brian Roberson here. He just gets frustrated and says, my goodness, how could he catch that ball? Even bumps him. And Roberson still has the concentration to stay on the ball and pull it in.
Third down and 2. And Rivers has a first down. A little bit of a crease with 21 seconds left to the 33 of the Aztecs. Again, the Bulldogs have 1 timeout remaining.
They better either call it here or get up to the line and throw it into the ground on the snap.
I think they'll call it here. The clock is running. So far, Dilfer a little deliberate. Quick hitch pattern right through the hands of Jones, who collects his thoughts, makes the grab, and now they're going to have to call it. With 5 seconds left. Might be about a 46 or 47 yard effort for Derek Mahoney.
Yeah, I think they could have exercised a little better clock management on that one. That was a first down play. Could have just stepped up to the line and thrown the ball into the ground. Wouldn't have lost so much time.
It would be appropriate if Mahoney would drive this one through, in that it was his scramble off the fake punt that set up this opportunity. It would be somewhat of a Herculean attempt. Mahoney out at the 47 yard range. 5 seconds left in the half. 35-10. Fresno State leading.
Of course, Mahoney could just take the ball and run it, couldn't he? Like he did last time on the punt.
I wouldn't bet on it. Don't think that's in the car.
Another guy that they will sorely miss. Another senior who's playing his last game at Bulldog Stadium. He's had so many great kicks here for the Bulldogs through his career.
Mahoney wants the Bulldogs to score 2 more touchdowns, and he'd be the all-time PAT leader. Right now he's thinking about a 47-yard field goal attempt. Try to match the Aztecs field goal to 46. Final 5 seconds of the half. Block. And you'll see a few laterals here. And the half concludes on the block kick. It's 35-10 Fresno State. Pretty good effort by John Lewis, number 2. But the Bulldog fans are happy. They're leading 35-10. Kevin Swinney, you have a happy coach, I'd imagine.
Yes, we will. I'm sure certainly I can guarantee he's going to express that it's a 4-quarter football game. Bulldogs up by 25 points here. A lot of football left with Marshall Falk. But I'm sure certainly he's happy with the first half so far.
Kevin, you know it's always difficult to keep that emotion going.
That's right. Here we have the coach with us now. Big first half.
Yeah, he played pretty well, about as well as I've ever seen a Bulldog football team play against an outstanding opponent. They scare you when they get the football in the hands of Marshall Falk and the quarterback and Darnay Scott. Those guys are great athletes, but our kids are playing snap the whistle every down, and coaches have a great defensive plan. I hope we just can continue it, make a 4-quarter effort out of it, because if we can, it'll be a great day for the Dogs.
Well, speaking of great days, number 12's got that radar going this week, doesn't he?
Well, he's just awesome. He's unbelievable, the throw that he made when he was being rushed and he was pulled down on the ground. That's days of Y.A. Tittle courage.
He's a big, strong stud. Go get him up, and we'll see you at the end of the game. Back upstairs to you, Randy.
All right, thank you, Kevin. 35-10. The Bulldogs lead the Aztecs at the break.
Bulldog Spotlight is brought to you by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows.
College recruiters told him he was not good enough to play quarterback at the Division I level. Fresno State gave him a chance to prove him wrong. And now Trent Dilfer is recognized as perhaps the best collegiate quarterback in all the nation.
When I came to that time in high school where I was looking at maybe not playing college football, it was scary. And to be in the position I am now is like a dream. It's like something I dreamed about as a little kid coming true in my life. And that's really neat. And not very many people get to live out their dreams. And I am right now.
Dilfer is one of the most highly rated quarterbacks of all time, averaging 300 yards passing per game. Entering tonight's contest, he owned or was within reach of a dozen records, sometimes surprising even himself.
I think the most surprising thing has been the lack of interceptions. When you throw the ball 300 times like I have this year, you expect to throw around 10 interceptions, I think. Would be a good number. I wouldn't be disappointed if I had 10 interceptions right now. I've had some great performances by guys on the team that have prevented me from throwing a lot of interceptions, which has been neat. So I think overall the lack of interceptions has been the one thing that said, wow, this has been an unusual year for me.
It's been a busy year for Trent Dilfer, leading Fresno State to a milestone Freedom Bowl victory over USC last December, now being touted as a high draft choice and Heisman Trophy candidate. And somewhere in there, he even found time to marry the love of his life.
An incredible gift and blessing in my life. She gives me the support I need when everybody else is ripping me or saying I didn't do as good a job as I should have done. She's there to give me support and encourage me and tell me I'll do better next time. And just being a 21-year-old man, I mean, that takes a lot. And she gives me everything I need to fulfill that role and do the best I can outside of football. And I think that's the most important thing.
While Trent Dilfer has answered all his critics on the field, he must soon answer the big question about his future. Will he return to Fresno State for his senior season or jump at the opportunity to enter the NFL draft, where he most certainly will command a multi-million-dollar contract?
It's something that my wife and I have talked about, and we realize it's an issue we're going to have to deal with pretty soon. But I have enough to worry about, being a husband, going to school, and preparing each week the way I want to prepare for the teams we play, that there's not a whole lot of time in there to think about things like that. I'm sure I'll make an announcement after the bowl game, whether I'm coming back or whether I'm leaving. I've been very blessed in my time at Fresno, and I've been able to accomplish a lot of things, both individually and as a team, and I'm very happy for that. I think where I go from now is just, we'll see. I can't tell you.
If he's going to have billions of dollars set on the table in front of him, projected as a #1 draft choice, probably he'll go. And if he were to decide to go, he would receive all of our blessings.
There's not many things I can do. I don't mean this to sound cocky or arrogant, but I'm not going to learn to read defenses any better than I do now coming back to college. I'm not going to throw the ball on certain routes any better, but I will become more mature. I will learn how to deal with adversity better if I come back. There are things I can improve on, and another year in college would help me with those things. But then again, maybe those things can be accomplished in the pros. I don't know right now, and we'll have to see.
If Trent Dilfer leaves the Bulldogs early, and there are certainly indications he will do just that, he also will leave a legacy and an example for others to follow.
What's got me through above anything else has been my faith in God, and I'm just saying you need to have faith, and things will turn out. And you work hard, and you do the things you're told to do, and you just battle through adversity, and then good things will happen to you. And that's been what's happened in my life. I went through a lot of hard times early on, and luckily, by the grace of God, I was able to bounce back and change the way I did things, and in turn change the way things were going for me.
First half full of fireworks for the Fresno State Bulldogs, leading the Aztecs at the break. 35-10, Randy Rosenblum, Ralph Wood, and Kevin Sweeney on hand. A lot of highlights for you in the first half. The first, a 15-yard touchdown pass, Trent Dilfer to tight end Jeff Arnold.
Dilfer looking over the middle and finds One of those seniors playing his last game at Bulldog Stadium, 7-0 Fresno State.
And the Bulldogs got right back on the board from 4 yards out. Ron Rivers in the first quarter made it 14-zip.
And look at the little lunge by Rivers to get over the goal line, 14-0.
From the 12-yard line, maybe one of the bigger plays, and there was a lot of them, the interception of James Burton darting in front of Darnay Scott.
Having a tough time against Scott, but comes up big on that play.
Daigle lunging in from the 1-yard line, and it was 21-0, and Trent Dilfer again throwing a touchdown. This one goes 19 yards to Titus Winans, and it was 28-0.
That came after Sam Watson had intercepted and run it back for a touchdown, but had the touchdown called back by penalty.
The touchdown of 27 yards, Gutierrez to Marshall Faulk. This is quite a grab, beating Sam Watson.
5 catches for 86 yards in the first half for Faulk.
But Dilfer wasn't done. From 7 yards, he checks off at the line and finds Titus Winans.
He audibilized at the last second. Little out pattern to Winans for the touchdown.
Peter Holt added a 46-yard field goal that made it 35-10. So all statistically on the side of Fresno State, although the Aztecs able to throw it effectively in the second quarter, but only 27 yards rushing. That's not going to get it done. And the 2 turnovers very costly for San Diego State.
And they have to be surprised with the way they are handling Marshall Faulk. Things going pretty good, stopping that terrific running back. He's catching more passes, having an effect catching passes than he is running the football.
We'll come back with the second half kickoff. The Bulldogs leading the Aztecs by a healthy 25. Jim Sweeney's ball club on the verge of moving on to a bowl game, and he'd still love to have the Holiday Bowl. You know, we talked to him yesterday about retirement, and he's not ready to retire. He still feels he has some things to accomplish here. He'd like to win a WAC conference title outright, and conceivably a lot of things would have to happen for that to happen this year. For Al Luganville, well, he's pacing already, knowing that his football team did not perform well in the first half. But a lot of that was Fresno State's doing.
Coach Sweeney and the Bulldogs thought that really winning the WAC championship was a long shot, but that was before they saw the scores from today's game. Utah beating Brigham Young and Wyoming losing to Colorado State.
And San Diego State will play Wyoming next week. BYU will host El Paso, and the Bulldogs can't win the conference title this week, but they can at least get a share of it with a victory.
A win tonight, and they do no worse than tie.
Yeah, they were tri-champions last year with BYU and Hawaii. This year it could be BYU, Wyoming, and Fresno State again. Kicking off is Derek Mahoney to Curtis Shear. 2 yards deep. He's coming out. And he's not going very far. His cage is rattled by Pittman. Mike Pittman showing brother how to hit.
Wow. And they're looking forward to what this guy is going to do carrying the football next season. He'll be one of the big replacements for that big hole created with the loss of Anthony Daigle and Ron Rivers.
That could be Pittman and maybe a Woody Green lining up. They think Woody Green's going to be a terrific running back. I'm giving away my age a little bit as you look at Gutierrez's numbers. Remember Woody Green Sr. played at Arizona State, and he was quite an All-American for the Arizona State Sun Devil. From the 11-yard line, the Aztecs need to score quickly. They're down by 25 as we begin the third quarter. Marshall Faulk is popped by Papazian. Those bodies are flying around, and Bulldogs are flying to the football, and in particular, they're chasing number 28.
Coach Willie Robinson, the defensive coordinator, said the most important thing for his defense was to win first down. See, they are winning the battle against Marshall Faulk. Those are not Marshall Faulk-like numbers, 15 carries, 36 yards. But when you win first down, you put the Aztecs in long situations where they have to abandon the run, go to the pass. That's when Fresno State feels its best.
They were concerned that the Aztecs could muscle up and just pound the ball. That has not been the case. Bulldog defense has played hard. Gutierrez. This one's caught. And DeAndre Maxwell to the 45-yard line. They're going to spot him down at the 47. And Maxwell with a fine grab, the local product with a big catch.
Sophomore out of Bullard High School, tremendous concentration on that ball. Gutierrez put it right on the money over Larry Cook. who is playing the defensive back position.
Now, Larry Cook had a big game at New Mexico. He's the nickel back for the Bulldogs tonight. First minute of the third quarter, the Aztecs know they need to score on this possession. 35-10 Fresno State. Trips to the left side. Shear and Falk split to the left side, and they go to Marshall Falk. And another first down. Well, they move Falk again to a slot position, and they're going to throw the football.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. They're abandoning that running game and getting the ball somehow to Marshall Falk. The only way they can do it is through the pass. They'll take that. But again, that's what Fresno State wanted going into this game. They wanted San Diego State to pass the football. And they felt, as we said at the top of the show, if they could hold Marshall Falk to under 150 yards rushing, that they would win the game. Well, Falk now has 100 yards catching the football, and touchdown, their only touchdown. So he is going to be a part of the offense one way or the other.
From the Bulldog 33-yard line, the doghouse is alive, exhorting the defense on. Good protection for Gutierrez going deep. Did Shear catch that ball? Touchdown, Curtis Shear. Oh, what a grab. Burton thought he'd get the interception, but Curtis Shear with a marvelous circus catch.
A big-time play again on both sides, and good defense by James Burton. He had the play covered. Gutierrez drops, looking at him all the way, finally unloads. This will be a perfect strike in the corner. Burton, good coverage, not quite tall enough, tips it, and Shearer hangs on with the juggling catch. It's a touchdown and a great, great play.
Curtis will tell you it's a sheer thing, huh? The PAT from Holt.
A sheer delight.
35-17, and the Aztecs are coming back. But keep in mind, when we return, Trent Dilfer returns right after this. It's time for This Week in Bulldog Sports, brought to you by Texaco, the star of the American road. The Bulldog wrestling team will open their regular season tomorrow. It's an all-day meet at Cal State Fullerton. Bulldog women's basketball under new head coach Linda Wonder will play their first exhibition game this Friday against the Australian Institute of Sport. Game time is 7:30 in the North Gym. This Week in Bulldog Sports has been brought to you by Texaco, the star of the American road. An impressive drive by the San Diego State Aztecs. Jim Gutierrez showcasing a pretty strong arm, but what a grab by Curtis Shear. 33-yard touchdown, an 89-yard drive. And Al Luganbill's troops, there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. They're down by 18 as he talks to his assistant coach, Barry Lamb. Barry Lamb's been around a long time. He coached against Jim Sweeney when he was at UNLV. As you see that 89-yard drive.
And you look at that drive, two of those plays, the pass to DeAndre Maxwell and the touchdown pass, there was good defense on each one of those plays. The Bulldogs couldn't have played them any better. You're just talking about perfect execution by San Diego State. It's hard to stop a team when it's executing perfectly like that.
And the Bulldogs need to exert more pressure on Tim Gutierrez. Holt advancing on the ball. Anthony Daigle will field at the 3. Spun down at the 23-yard line. Well, here we will see if San Diego State can really get back in the game, because they need to close in on this guy. 17 of 25 for 236 and 3 scores. And keep in mind, Dilfer 3 times this year over 400 yards in the air,
after never having even passed for 300 yards in his career before this season. So you see what a tremendous year Trent Dilfer's having throwing the football.
Rivers nets 8 on his first try. Ron Rivers had 40 yards in the first half, and I would think that Kevin Sweeney, the Bulldogs, would want to get Ron Rivers involved in the second half. Pickup of 8, second down and 2. Rivers has a 4-yard touchdown in that first quarter. And the Bulldogs started quickly. And Rivers, not a lot of running room there. And he is shy of the first down. Taraja Smith and Doug Tom combining to bring him down.
Fresno State now trying to get back into that control type offense, keep the ball away from San Diego State. Aztecs looking like they're starting to get things going offensively with that quick 4-play drive. This is a big third down play now for the Bulldogs. Big third down play for the San Diego State defense as well.
6 of 7 are the Dogs in third down conversion. And Rivers with that lunge, very close. I'm not sure he got it, Ralph.
Well, that is
not a great spot.
That's going to be very close.
You're going to have to come across the field and measure. And if they come up shy, would Jim Sweeney elect to go for it with a 35-17 lead?
Well, if you're looking at the sticks across the way, he did not have to quite make it to the 33-yard line. He has not. It's going to be very close.
He's got the first down. And Jim Sweeney doesn't have to worry about it. By the length of the football. Jim Sweeney says, I'm very proud not only of our third down conversions tonight, but the fact that in 2 years we've beaten every team in the WAC conference.
That's a significant accomplishment. Some people didn't think that Fresno State would do well at all when it made its entry into the Western Athletic Conference. And to say that in 2 seasons they've beaten every single team in the WAC is really something to hang your hat on.
Well, there's one team they want to beat twice in a row. That's the Aztecs, who win their 8th game. If they win tonight, that'll be 6 years in a row with at least 8 victories. Rivers again with a gaping hole, and Rivers starts to the 50. He has a first down to the Aztec 45.
You give it to Ron Rivers, you keep punching and punching and punching, and something breaks loose. See, Jason James helps open that big hole, and then Rivers just does the rest on himself with those open field moves before Chris Johnson finally comes in on the tackle. Rivers closing in on 100 yards for the game. He had 48 at the half. Probably picked up another 20 here in the second half.
Darrell Lewis is wondering where Ron Rivers went for that fake. Run setting up the pass. And Dilfer scrambling for Jeff Arnold. Good coverage by Sean Smith, the linebacker dropping back. Smith's the guy that had the key interception a week ago against John Walsh on that Thursday against the Notre Dame transfer. Had the interception against BYU that set up a touchdown that moved the Aztecs within 1. Then they failed on the 2-point conversion. Second down and 10. Aztecs, they don't rally all the way back, will have lost 3 in a row. They're 6-4 and 4-2 in the WAC. Against the Bulldogs, who are 7-3, 5-2. And they're 7-0 against WAC teams at the stadium since '85. Quick out to Roberson. That ball was thrown behind him, and boy, did Roberson make a nice adjustment. The freshman says, yeah, I like that. That's good.
That's right. You're seeing the future of the pass receiving core here. You're going to lose guys like Titus Weinman's about Sebron, but keep in mind a guy like Roberson is coming back, and he reaches behind to make a great catch there.
You talk so much about how good Trent Dilfer is, but this receiving core, they add a real plus.
This is a team. He's getting great blocking from the offensive line, terrific protection. He's got those running backs to give the threat, and the receivers make the big catches.
The deep ball for Winans. Incomplete and nearly intercepted by Michael Driver, and Dilfer underthrew that ball.
And he knows it. He's a little disgusted with himself for not getting the ball out there far enough. That was actually simultaneous possession. It looked like both players had a chance at it. Driver the interception. Winans then looked like he might be able to take it away. They both go up for it. And it's a little tug of war, and nobody wins. As they hit the ground, the ball pops out. Incomplete.
Dilfer knows had he thrown that farther to the corner, he would add a touchdown. Winans was open. 266 and building. Matt Blunden of Virginia went 224 for the previous record. Here's the sweep, and Rivers looking to throw. For Jones, and that one is intercepted by Johnson. So Ron Rivers is intercepted, and San Diego State will get the ball back at the 20-yard line, and they hold off Fresno State.
That was another one of the special plays that they put in. They get in that too tight offense. Rivers takes the handoff, looks for the open guy. Jones covered pretty well on the play, and you saw the interception. So the Bulldogs are turned away on offense.
Johnson with a very nice play. Charlie Jones going for the ball. Rivers threw it right there, but Johnson able to adjust and make the interception. And now the Aztecs, after scoring, get the turnover. And they're getting the momentum on their side.
And you're right. You're in danger of giving them some hope now.
Falk hit by Deshay. A loss of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 11. One thing appears to be certain. They're not going to let Falk beat him on the ground.
No, they really loaded up against the run, and they're getting great play up in the middle by Demetrius Edwards on that one. And it's got to be frustrating for that young man. Just cannot break loose. But, of course, we all know how quickly things can change. You give him the ball enough times, he's liable to pop one for you.
Well, he popped one against BYU for 71 yards. Right up the gut. It was the longest touchdown of his career from scrimmage. Rushing the football. 2nd down and 10. Closer to 11. Gutierrez finally goes down. Well, he had time. Really, the coverage of the secondary. Edwards finally knocked down Gutierrez, but terrific coverage in the deep secondary.
That's what they call a cover sack. The quarterback cannot find anyone open. He waits and waits and waits. The Bulldogs really just coming with, what, a 4-man rush here, and they're outnumbered, but they did the job.
3rd and 17 for the Aztecs. Fans again come to their feet at Bulldog Stadium, exhorting the defense on, trying to stop these Aztecs. Trips to the left side. Falk has it, and he's on his way. 40. No one's going to catch Marshall Falk. Touchdown, Marshall Falk. '87 yards. And Marshall Falk has the Aztecs back in the hunt.
And back in the ball game. Yes, we have a ball game. It's Gutierrez again, looking for his favorite receiver tonight. Falk over the middle and breaks the tackles, and that's it. You can forget about it. He is gone. Once he gets open, just like a running back, this time he's on the receiving end of the pass, but if they get him the ball, he'll do the damage.
188 yards receiving for Falk. Peter Holt drives it through, and it's 35-24 Fresno State. The Aztecs, in less than 6 minutes, have scored 2 touchdowns. And this is really wild in the WAC. The great Marshall Falk on 3rd and 17 catches a Gutierrez pass and goes 87 yards. And it's 35-24, and Fresno State, as expected, now in a war with the Aztecs.
They need some help now. They need some help from the offense to get a drive going and not to stop themselves. They also need some help from the crowd, and the crowd seems to be responding.
Oh, very much so. 40,000 plus screaming their hearts out. Daigle from the 3. Climbs to the 25. And Fresno State, which just mounted a drive, and Ron Rivers was intercepted as Rivers took the handoff from Dilfer through downfield. It's an 80-yard drive. Keep in mind they were looking at 3rd and 17 when Gutierrez found Falk.
Their first scoring drive of this half, 4 plays, took about a minute and a half. This one, 3 plays, a minute and a half. So they're putting points on the board in a hurry.
You have to lock up against Falk, and Lance Thomas did not lock him up.
Trio of guys kind of collided there and bounced off each other like bowling pins.
Rivers. 15 yards, and Ron Rivers is rolling.
So we see a team like San Diego State come up with a big play, but then you also see the senior leadership of Fresno State respond. Ron Rivers says, hey, I'm not going to let this happen. We're coming right back at you. And Rivers showing those open field moves again, getting down low and picking his way through the hole for the 1st down.
Unofficially, Rivers with 87 yards. And if you follow the Bulldogs and you see the numbers illustrated for you, when he gets to 100, the Dogs are 17-0. Well, he's on his way. Closing in well over 90 yards before the Aztec defense able to get over there and deny him the first down, but a very nice gain of 7. Chris Johnson, the strong safety, made the stop. 8:20 left in the third quarter. Dominated so far by San Diego State. 35-24 Bulldogs.
Fresno State wanted to control the line of scrimmage here. San Diego State is bigger. They have bigger guys up front, so that's kind of a problem for the Bulldogs. But they figure that their players are so talented and experienced, and then that offensive line is so big that they've got a pretty good match in the offensive line against San Diego defense.
Daigle. And he's close to a first down as he slides out near the 50-yard line. Appears to be just shy. It'll be 3rd and less than 1. Daigle scored a touchdown tonight on the ground. Anthony Daigle, in his career, 32 rushing touchdowns. Has 41 overall. He's caught 9 in his career, 8 of those this year. 25 seniors playing their final game at Bulldog Stadium. And here's a big 3rd and short. 3 backs behind Dilfer. It's Daigle, and he has a first down to the 48. The tackle secured by strong safety Chris Johnson. Bulldogs are moving the ball, but Ralph, I believe it's good for their perspective that they're moving the ball and arrested in the defense, but they still need to score. I don't know that 35 points is enough to win the game.
Well, no, it's not going to be enough to win the game, and they probably will score. They're getting it going. They're moving the ball down the field, but you're right. They have to put it in the end zone, something they did very effectively in the first half and have not done here in the second half.
Ralph Wood predicting that the Bulldogs are going to score. Let's see what Dilfer can do to accommodate. The short pattern coming out of the backfield, the reliable Anthony Daigle. Oh, he has terrific hands. You see him catch so many passes, you take it for granted, but Daigle just always makes the catch.
Well, he's doing the things that Marshall Falk has been doing for San Diego State on the other side. He comes out of the backfield, catches the ball, and then gets the yardage you need in the open field after he's put the ball away. Calls in his running skills after that.
2nd down and 6. Dunn and Jones wide right. Dilfer, some pressure, still on his feet, flings it downfield, and this one's caught. Miraculous play. Let's see where they roll Dilfer down. Dilfer's going to be put down at the 38-yard line, but again, as Josh Coldiron is slow to get up, and Kenny Hall. But what a play by Dilfer, despite being rolled down.
Probably a good play because he was fairly in the grasp there, but he'll just kind of flip it backhanded right there. Hard to see what happened to Kenny Hall, but he is still down on the field. He's had knee problem and a hamstring problem.
Dan Hahn would be his replacement. And Hahn has started on occasion this year because Hall has had a lot of physical ailments. Hall is out of Pomona, a senior, and he seems to be favoring the left shoulder.
We'll watch the replay and see if we can see it. Well, I don't see anything there.
Well, it's 3rd and 24 for the Bulldogs. And a defensive hold here. The Aztecs come right down the field. Jim Sweeney, that comfort zone, that 35-7 lead. You see the Aztecs score the last 17. And Dilfer's looking at 3rd and 24. This is not an easy pickup, and these Aztecs are playing well. Dilfer's pressure, scrambling, and he throws it away. And he'll be ticketed. And the Bulldogs will have to give it up. He had lost his balance, and he didn't want to take the sack. That's a good call from Gene Wirtz.
And all of a sudden, he's getting even more pressure from the San Diego State defensive front.
He's talking to everybody to listen on the sideline, and needs to talk to the offensive line, who suddenly is not protecting him.
Well, San Diego State is not even blitzing, and they're still getting a good pressure on him. Which has got to be a little troublesome to the Fresno State offensive coaches.
Ray Peterson, who's second in the WAC in punt returns. 11 yards a return. It's back at his 35. Anticipating the Mahoney punt. And this is anybody's game at 35-24. And still 5:47 left in the third quarter. High snap. And Mahoney's pressured, and he goes down. And the Aztecs, Kurt Collins, a reserve tight end, number 84, swallows up Derek Mahoney. There is a marker.
Marker came down after the play, but this is just a jailbreak. They come right through the Fresno State line and swallow it up. Mahoney, no chance to get it off.
Well, Mahoney was able to run out of trouble in the first half, but not there.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike against the kicking team. We have a first down this way, half the distance.
Well, the Aztecs about to get, well, they're already in the game, but in striking distance.
See if we can pick up the penalty. There's Mahoney, just kind of flings the ball.
And a senior shouldn't lose his cool like that. And it'll cost the Dogs down to the 7.5-yard line. And a score here makes it 35-31. And how quickly it can turn around. Gutierrez trots back on. You didn't think it'd be easy, did you? Not with these heated rivals.
Well, we had an idea that this thing wasn't over yet.
Power on. Marshall Falk inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Andre Deshay ran him down. Chris Peters there as well.
And this is just power against power now. San Diego State going with the 2 tight end offense. Bulldogs putting everybody up on the line. They think Marshall Falk's going to get it.
Somewhat reversed. You'd think the numbers would be 39 receiving and 188 rushing. It's not been the case.
But he's killed them with 2 touchdown catches today.
87-yarder got him right back in the hunt. Now they're trying to close to within 4. Second down and 4. Power eye once again. Falk, the tailback, trying to bounce outside. He has room. He scores. Marshall Falk. Touchdown, San Diego State.
And we have a football game. You can be sure of that.
We have a shootout. Now the Aztecs showing a lot of moxie in the third quarter.
And we might see him going for 2 points. But here it's Falk taking it around the outside. Deshay can't get out there to stop him. One of the things they wanted to do was contain the outside, hold the edges, and force the action inside. Well, that didn't happen on that play. Marshall Falk gets outside and into the end zone.
And apparently they will go for 2.
2-point conversion gets them a win 3.
4:55 left in the third. Falk the lone running back. Aztecs trail by 5. Will Tate in motion. That's tipped away by Larry Cook. An excellent defensive play intended for Tate. And with 4:55 left, the Bulldogs have a 5-point lead. We'll come back to a lively doghouse where the Aztecs have outscored Fresno State 20-0 in the third quarter right after this. America's first real estate broker, California Department of Real Estate. Marshall Falk, his first rushing touchdown of the night. He's caught 2, and he's up there with heavy company. Of course, he's quite an athlete. Glenn Davis, Tony Dorsett, Anthony Thompson, and the Marshall man. 59 career touchdowns, but more importantly, the Aztecs, his Aztecs within 5. San Diego State had it 3 times in the quarter and has 3 touchdowns. Another fine effort by Daigle, and a marker is down. Fresno State has been hurt with the penalties in this quarter, and they're about to be tagged again.
Going to stretch the field a little bit with the penalty there. You have to be a little disturbed now about the fact that the offense is slowed down a great deal.
Blocking the back by the return team. 10-yard penalty, spot a foul, first down.
Virtually unstoppable in the first half. Can't seem to finish it off here in the second half.
Well, if they don't score, they're not going to win the game, because it's apparent that San Diego State will. 4:51 left in the third. The Aztecs outscoring the Bulldogs 20-0 in the stanza. And Mr. Trent Dilfer and company are going to have to dig deep now. It's a gut check for Jim Sweeney's offense, because these Aztecs are going to come after them. They start from their 11-yard line. Rivers has room outside. Rivers is on his way outside the 40-yard line. Bumped out by Darrell Lewis. He's over 100 yards. 32 on that scamper by Ron Rivers.
And the good news here, if you're into the numbers, you watch Ron Rivers bounce it outside and take it up the sideline. If you're into the numbers, you know that the Bulldogs do not lose when Ron Rivers goes over 100 yards. 17-0 in his career. Of course, they still have some work to do in this game.
126 yards for Rivers in the game against the Aztecs tonight. Daigle to the 41, maybe the 40-yard line. Chris Johnson on the stop, and Fresno State right back to the ground. Power football.
And this is a little bit of a statement by the offensive line. The guys were standing over on the sideline, you may have seen earlier, with hands held, trying to marshal their forces and get back together. This is one thing that slows down a pass rush. If you can get a run game going, and that's exactly what they're doing now, because the pass rush was being very effective against the Bulldogs. They were putting a lot of pressure on Trent Dilfer. If you can run effectively, you'll put those defensive linemen back on their heels.
Rivers has passed Aaron Craver's single season total, over 1,300 yards. And Daigle looked like Rivers on the last one, and Anthony will try it again. And his brute strength takes it down inside the 35. Kevin Sweeney, the Bulldogs are going to power football.
Well, they're going to power football. That's right, Randy. San Diego State defensively is trying to take away the weak side passing game. The weak side linebackers running the play pass defense. That's why Fresno State's having the success running the ball to the left side of the line of scrimmage.
Daigle was 6 on that first down carry. 2nd down and 4. And again, the Bulldogs strictly on the ground. The stripe started at their 11-yard line. Bulldogs have been the dominant team on the ground, but San Diego State has been productive in the air. And Rivers is tripped up.
Ron Rivers with the ball, number 20. Number 99, Sean Smith. Tripped him up.
The Bulldogs will be looking at 3rd down.
Loss of 1.
Third and nearly 5.
Another big 3rd down play for the Bulldogs, who were so effective on converting the 3rd downs in the first half. Need to get something going positively here in the second.
Winans wide left. Dunn comes to the right with Charlie Jones. Bulldogs have been great on 3rd down so far. They've been 8 out of 10. And they have another one here. This is a big one to Charlie Jones as he turned Michael Driver around. Working on the freshman.
Working on the freshman who's playing a little soft on defense. And if you do that against Charlie Jones with Trent Dilfer, he can see it all the way. Just a quick 3-step drop. Throws it out to Charlie. Picks up the first down.
Bulldogs at the Aztec 26. Bulldogs have moved the ball in the quarter, but Rivers was picked off in the end zone. Stop in a drive. Another Kevin Sweeney record has bit the dust. And Dilfer rewriting the record books, but he wants the W. Rivers bouncing off, finding a crease, cutting inside, cutting outside. He's down inside the 15-yard line. First down, Fresno State.
How many times have we seen Ron Rivers do this? Watch him absorb the initial hit right there and bounce off. Then he tries to follow the block and play off the block of Jeff Arnold. before he's finally taken down there by Darrell Lewis. But another big play by Ron Rivers. It's a first down for the Bulldogs. The drive is still going, but they need to punch it in here. This is a great offensive drive, great for the offense, but they need to score to kind of slow down San Diego State.
2.5 minutes left, third quarter. Bulldogs 35, Aztecs 30. The deep pitch to Rivers. Inside the 5-yard line. Bulldogs trying to finish off what would be one of the most impressive drives of the season.
Back to this power football. They're going with the two tights. Great blocking. Rivers tries to turn it up around the corner. Collared down around the 2-yard line.
We're going to have a measurement. See, the ball's inside the 3-yard line. Bulldogs in the red zone are normally very reliable. They'll be looking at 1st and 2.5 for a touchdown.
And now they'll load it up on that line again here and just kind of try and pound it in.
Ron Rivers, 23 carries, 150 yards. Ran for over 200 against New Mexico.
And again, the Bulldogs have a good opportunity here to maybe do a little play pass, because you can see San Diego State is going to put everybody up tight too.
That would surprise me, the way they've driven it on this drive. Daigle over the top, down near the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Aztecs thought they had dislodged the football from Daigle.
It's beef against beef here as he follows Sal Mexico over the top. Comes up a little bit short, but they are right there.
2nd down and a yard to go for a dog touchdown. It is much needed. They lead by 5, but they need a cushion. The Aztecs have rallied mightily. Dilfer, the keeper. Touchdown!
You got a guy 6'5", 236 pounds. Why not use him? And Dilfer just kind of leans over Jason James and gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
Mahoney for his 6th PAT of the night. Remember, he needs 7 to set an all-time record. He's 1 away.
And I told you they were going to score.
42-30, and Fresno State with a very impressive and much-needed 89-yard drive. Took exactly 3 minutes. Trent Dilfer, who has thrown for 3 touchdowns, rushes for a score. And Trent has not run the football for touchdowns like he did his first year. Remember when he took over for Mark Barsotti? At that time, it was more of an option attack, because that really was the kind of football that Barsotti played. And when Dilfer came in, he ran for a few touchdowns. But now he doesn't have to do that. The way he throws the football, they don't need to option him most of the time.
When Trent Dilfer started playing, he was so gung-ho, he wanted to play on kick teams. He just wanted to get into some action. So whenever he had a chance to take off with the football, he did just that. Now it's time for the Fresno State defense to reassume some control. They want to get the big play on 1st down again. As you see, Al Luganville having a heated discussion there with his defensive coordinator, Del White.
Mahoney will kick it off. Al Luganville, I don't know what he said to his team. Whatever he did at halftime, it certainly ignited them. And Aztecs have come out. They scored 3 in a row. Now the Bulldogs respond. And to see Marshall Falk again. Mahoney hits that one a lot better, and Curtis Shear is 2 yards deep. He's coming out. He's going down. That's collision football. There was a marker down. Mike Pittman, number 34, in the middle of that. You can see what a touchdown can do to lift your spirits and how intense the Bulldogs were on that specialty unit.
Well, the special team get together and they say they're not going to come back on us now. So many times they've had kick returns.
By the return team, Half the distance to the goal. Spot foul. First down.
But that was a huge hit. They've been burned on kick returns, as we have seen all season long.
We picked on him for having the trouble at Colorado State. But let us tell you that Sonny Lubick has done a terrific job with the Rams. And the Rams may have indeed helped the Bulldogs out mightily today by pinning a horrible loss for Wyoming on the Cowboys at home. They beat them 42-21. And a Bulldog victory tonight, let us remind you, will give them a real shot at the Holiday Bowl and at least a share of the conference title. But Tim Gutierrez has rallied these Aztecs, and he's asked to do it again, starting from his 9-yard line. And Falk has stood up. Papazian and Bell.
You're going to see the initial hit delivered by Ron Papazian. He's just going to stand up Marshall Falk. Falk takes the handoff, goes right at him. Here comes the collision. Boom, the helmet right in the chest. Brad Bell then will finish it off. To carry that point a little further, Randy, we're talking about a win here tonight clinches at least a tie as we look at Chris Rockwell again being attended to. A win tonight for the Bulldogs clinches a tie for the title, but as we understand it then, if San Diego State can bounce back from this loss, should they lose this game, and beat Wyoming next week, Fresno State goes to the Holiday Bowl.
And there would be incentive for the Aztecs if they fall tonight. They need a 7th win. They feel they'll go to the Aloha Bowl if they can win either tonight or next week against Wyoming. So obviously if they lose, they desperately would need a win if they are to get to a bowl. Gutierrez on 2nd and long. That's out of bounds. Wanted Darnay Scott and in fact got it to him, but outside the boundary.
Darnay Scott getting loose down on the sideline. James Burton on the coverage. The Bulldogs will come on a blitz here. And here they come. Gutierrez realizes that, just kind of unloads it. But you can see Darnay Scott right on the sideline. Very close.
3rd and 9 for the Aztecs. They've come up with big conversions since the 2nd quarter. See if they can do it again. See if the Bulldogs can raise up and finally stop these Aztecs. Tipped away by Burton, and a flag is down.
Well, I'm afraid there's going to be another interference call on James Burton. We'd like to see that one again. Looks like he made a pretty good defensive play. It'll be reaching around, knock the ball down, depending on where his other hand was, I guess.
Pass interference. Defense. Spot foul. First down.
Let's take a look at this and see if we can pick it up. Burton will be number 19, around left side of your screen. He may have made a little contact before the pass got there, but that's a pretty good play. That's a tough one to call.
Those defensive backs are out there on an island, and very difficult to ask him to cover one-on-one if they can't come over like that and lunge for the ball. I thought there was very little contact on that play. The Aztecs with new life. And Gutierrez with the pump fake. And another flag, and that one was more obvious. There was a push on Burton.
Well, you got the same question now. Is that a catchable ball?
I don't think it was a catchable ball, but I certainly saw the push. See if there was a push previously to Burton's push.
And if you're going to use that not catchable ball thing against Fresno State, you're going to have to play it both sides here.
Yeah, that was not catchable if they're going to use that rule. He's going to wave it off.
We had a pass interference against the defense. The ball was non-catchable. We wave off the flag.
Okay, good call.
By the way, I hate the rule.
Yeah, it's a terrible rule, but at least you have to be consistent with it.
But it doesn't make sense because it allows a player to foul. I talked with Bill McCabe about this, and I just think if someone fouls, and it's happened to both teams now, they should be penalized. You know, I don't care if the ball's catchable or not. It allows a criminal act.
And it also forces an official to make another judgment. So he has to make two judgments on one play there. First, was there interference? Then, well, could he have caught the ball in any event?
And that, of course, is not the official's trouble. That's just an NCAA rule that I dislike. Second down and 10. These fans are getting surly at the doghouse. They want blood. Falk on the handoff. Goes nowhere. And Ron Papazian, who's been an active cat from the linebacker spot, was there again.
Well, these guys can really hang their hats on the job they've done on Marshall Falk rushing the football. 20 carries, 44 yards. That is incredible.
But he can beat you in so many ways, and he's beaten the Bulldogs on the flanks. Scott is in. Pittman's in. It's third down and 9. San Diego State down by a dozen with 35 seconds left in the third. 42-30 Dogs. Again, a big third down play. Gutierrez is finally sacked. Demetrius Edwards.
Dog defense coming up with a huge play. Demetrius Edwards kind of turned his season around midway point, decided that he was really going to play football, and Willie Robinson says he's really matured.
The third quarter is in the books. It was a good one for the Aztecs, but the Bulldogs showed their mettle at the end of the stanza. We still have 15 minutes. Oh, this is fun, isn't it? We'll see in a minute. Quarters, our Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Page stat sheet, and look at all those yards in the air for San Diego State, and the total number for the Bulldogs, and Fresno State averages over 517 per game. As we begin the fourth quarter, Ed Kosiski to punt it away to David Dunn. Bulldogs figure to get advantageous field position, leading by 42-30. Dunn from near the 40-yard line. Cannot wiggle free, and Eric Sutton throws him down. So the Bulldogs will begin from their 40-yard line, leading by 12.
And with an opportunity now to really regain control here.
Be a believer in Bulldog Fever. Join Fresno State and Save Mart supermarkets with their quest to further our student athletes' education. Your purchases at Save Mart during the 93 Bulldog Fever campaign contributes to Fresno State's 17 men's and women's intercollegiate athletic program. On first down, the pitch to Rivers. Ron Rivers at the 50, to the 40, to the 30. He's inside the 30 to the 27. It's first down, Bulldogs. Ron Rivers is closing in on 200. 28 on that gallop.
And he needs a little breather here. It's coming back because of a penalty. Well, that's a tough break for Ron Rivers because that was a big play.
Now the penalties have hurt Fresno State. Well, it's going to take them a while to get to 200 with that flag down.
Little setback there. Coach Sweeney talks about temporary setbacks. You have a lot of those in a ball game. But Bulldogs trying, as we said, to regain control here on offense. Run some time off the clock. Coach Sweeney not at all pleased about that play, having that one called back, because that was a big one.
Yeah, they had San Diego State back on their heels. And now San Diego State has a chance to bounce back defensively. On first and 20, Dilfer to throw. And he's going to run, and he has room. It's about 12 yards before he's finally brought down. And a good effort by Trent Dilfer, showing his 4.7 speed. George Glazé finally was able to catch him from behind.
All of a sudden, San Diego State putting on some good coverage on the receivers. Dilfer can't find anything open. Of course, the pressure comes, and he decides he's got to take off and try and make what he can out of it.
And he picked up 12 on the scramble. The Bulldogs have hurt themselves. 9 penalties, 93 yards. And it's second down and 8. Under 14 to play at Bulldog Stadium, 42-30, Fresno State. That one's underthrown. Wanted Titus Widens on an out pattern, and Trent Dilfer just didn't get it there.
No, he didn't have enough oomph on that one. He got it there on one hop, on a bounce. Now you're in what, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7 situation?
You like the way he's got the uniform there?
He's been through a war tonight, hasn't he?
Still been very accurate. Got that jersey tucked up now, but he needs a big hit on 3rd down. Here's the out pattern. He's got the 1st down. Perfect throw to Charlie Jones. They worked on John Lewis, the senior from San Diego. This is just a precise pattern.
Well, that's what they do so well. He throws that out pattern so terrifically. He puts enough zip on the ball to get it out there to the receiver. And again, we said very little the defender can do on a play like that because it's on timing and accuracy, and the receiver's making his break. Defensive back not quite sure where he's going to go. And with a guy like Dilfer who puts the ball out there for the receiver to go and get it, it's just almost impossible to stop.
Inside the Aztec 45, they line up in the I. Rivers has returned. Can't shake free. Ron Rivers trying to bounce outside, but Aaron Pruitt, a reserve linebacker, tripped him up.
Rivers not getting much of a rest. Goes out for a couple plays, get a breather, put him right back to work when he gets in. That's what he's there for. Still really makes something out of nothing.
Well, ideally, the Bulldogs would like to run the clock down and not give Al Luganbill's offense an opportunity to get out there very often in the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 7. Bulldogs trying to build on their 12-point lead. Another hard run on a little delay, which froze the defense. When Dilfer drops back like that, you know, San Diego State is thinking pass. He crosses them up with the draw to Rivers.
And that's part of trying to cool off that pass rush that San Diego State has been able to put on here in the 2nd half. Hand it off to a guy like Rivers who gets them back on their heels. Then they have to be looking for that. They have to be wary of that. And they're probably going to be looking for a run here or maybe even a Dilfer sneak when you got, well, they got T-heavy probably with a 3rd down and less than a yard, I'd say, on this play.
Well, Ron Rivers has had a big game. He rushed for over 170 yards against the Aztecs last year, but he broke it, an 80-yard touchdown run against the Aztecs last year. So go back in the huddle and redesign the call, but it's 3rd and inches. Ball just outside the Aztec 35. And the Bulldogs are excited, so they'll run up to the line. Daigle breaking free. 20, 10, 5, touchdown! .35 yards for Daigle.
That hole was there before the ball was even snapped. There was nobody over the left guard. They tried to come up to cover, but it was too late, and he is gone. Anthony Daigle getting through the line, and nobody there to stop him after he broke through that initial
48-30, and we could be sitting in on history with this PAT. Tied with Roman Anderson, 213. Daigle's looking for 214. For the all-time record, it's placed out. The kick is up. There's a flag down. The kick is good. Let's check the marker. Derek Mahoney has to wait for his moment in the sun. Does he have 214 at an all-time record? They're talking to Jason James. You would think it's on the Aztecs. Let's see.
Offside. Defense. Kick is good. 5 yards assessed on the kickoff.
Derek Mahoney, all-time extra point leader with 214 in his career. 49 of those this year. And the Bulldogs lead 49-30. While you were away, a tremendous salute for Derek Mahoney. This senior, his final home game, breaking the all-time record set by Houston's Roman Anderson, who had 213 PATs. Mahoney, the all-time leader, 214. 25 seniors looking to go out with a big glow on their face. And Mahoney has it teed up. Bulldogs lead by 19. Now, normally, you feel pretty good about a 19-point lead, but not against these Aztecs who can score like a lightning bolt. There's Curtis Shear, who's one of many who can bring it the distance. They'll be out of bounds, and San Diego State will start from its 35-yard line.
As is the case in many games, a play like that by the offense, an offensive drive, results in a touchdown, does a lot to boost the defense. Before the game, going in, Willie Robinson said they had goals. They wanted 4 turnovers, 4 sacks, and they wanted to hold Marshall Faulk to 150 yards rushing. Well, they have 2 turnovers they forced, along with 3 sacks, and Marshall Faulk has not reached 150 yards, although he has played a major role in this ball game with the way he's receiving. 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 running touchdown.
I don't know why the ball spotted at the 30 unless they penalize him for the 5-yard penalty on the PAT. That's the only thing I can imagine.
That would have to be it.
That's the only way they could put it at the 30. In a way, offsetting penalties when you think about it. 5 for the PAT, and then out of bounds they take it to the 30 rather than the 35. Pittman moved early. This penalty is against San Diego State's Wayne Pittman, as they give Faulk a breather for the moment.
Yeah, that was an easy one to call. He almost fell forward. He started leaning and anticipating the snap count and couldn't stop himself.
I think it says a lot of the Fresno State program, and I'll finish the thought in a moment.
Illegal motion against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That Mike Pittman would not play with his brother at San Diego State, knowing that he'd get playing time after Faulk leaves. That he would be attracted enough to come to the Fresno State program and play for Jim Sweeney's game. Jim Gutierrez put 3 quick touchdowns on the board in the 3rd quarter. He's going to need to do it again in the 4th. 1st and 15. Gene Smith brings him down at the 21-yard line. A loss of 4, and Gene Smith registers the Bulldogs' 4th sack of the game. Comes up limping, and that's the total that the coaching staff wanted.
They got their 4 sacks. Great coverage here. Gutierrez can't find anybody open. Looks, and then all of a sudden Gene Smith is in his face. And that is the Bulldogs' 4th sack of the game, meeting their pregame goal.
Jim Sweeney is pleading his case, looking to buy a penalty. You've seen a few go against him tonight. 49-30 Fresno State. Gutierrez looking at 2nd and 19. Here's another Bulldog blitz. Good protection again. That one's knocked away. Tommy Jones, marvelous job in the secondary from number 4.
Putting the pressure on. You see, here's their go-to guy, Darnay Scott. Just comes down across the middle. Tommy Jones shadowing him. And can't hang on. Darnay Scott dropped a few balls tonight, which you don't see him normally do. But there was good defense on that play by the Bulldogs.
Faulk, if you think he's been stopped, you're wrong. 44 on the ground, 188 in the air. Total offense, 232 yards.
87 of that 188 on the one big play.
Aztecs 4 of 9 and 3rd down conversions. They're looking at 3rd and 19. Bulldogs will reach back and go after the quarterback. Deep pattern for DeAndre Maxwell is well covered, and San Diego State will be forced to punt with 11-12 left, and the Bulldogs have recaptured all the momentum.
And get a standing ovation from this crowd.
The red wave is here and in force.
A defense that's admittedly had its problems during this year, coming up with some big stops tonight.
Ed Kosiski punting away to the dangerous David Dunn. And again, Dunn had the 55-yard return for a TD a week ago against Hawaii. Dunn will field it. At the 50, 45. On his feet to the 40. He's inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. We're going to step aside for a commercial timeout. The Bulldogs are on their way, leading by 19. After a 19-yard return by David Dunn, the Bulldogs are at the 37-yard line of San Diego State. Al Luganville continues to pace and eat up a lot of real estate. And his team's behind the 8 ball to the tune of 49-30.
But he doesn't look like we normally see him. I mean, he just looks so downcast. And, of course, a 19-point deficit will do that to you.
Rivers to the 35. This crowd expects Rivers to break it just about every time. Terrell Steen, number 42, up there for the hit, along with Taraja Smith. There's Trent Dilfer. He has still not been intercepted since the Oregon State game. Second game of the year. The Bulldogs won that 48-30. Very similar scores we have tonight. Had, in fact, 49 points, the most scored this year by Fresno State. They'll have one more game to play in postseason. Where they'll go, we don't know, but they'll be in a bowl. Second down and 8. Rivers again. First down to the 20-yard line. Ron Rivers. Just a little bit of an encore, too, for that offensive line, which is knocking San Diego State out of there now.
Well, they're going back to what they were doing so successfully in the first half, and that is just controlling the line of scrimmage. Hole big enough to drive a truck through. Ron Rivers doesn't need anything that big, but he can certainly pick up the yardage when he's got a little opening. Look at that, 176 yards. Ron Rivers doing a terrific job picking up the offense here. Again, the offensive line, though, is doing it. They're protecting the passer again, opening the holes. San Diego State is in a difficult position now because they're not sure what the Bulldogs are going to do, and that's great position for the Bulldogs to be in.
Taraja Smith being helped off. You're wondering when the last time Fresno State scored over 50. It was against Colorado State last year here at Bulldog Stadium in a 52-21 win. Now they're 21 yards away from going over 50 tonight. There's Taraja Smith, junior out of San Francisco. Of course, he hopes to be ready to go next week against Wyoming, and the Bulldogs will be a very fond team rooting for San Diego State to beat Wyoming next week. Because if that happens, Fresno State would go to the Holiday Bowl if they hold on to this lead. Rivers breaking a tackle at the 15, to the 10, at the 5, in the end zone.
Watch Ron Rivers, a thing of beauty. The spin right out of the tackle, and he has open sailing from there. Puts on the speed, scores the touchdown, and the Bulldogs have quite a bit of breathing room now.
Ron Rivers, 197 yards and 2 touchdowns. 14 TDs on the year. It is 55-30 Bulldogs. They led 35-10 at halftime.
I think Al Luganville is absolutely stunned.
I don't think he felt the Aztecs could lose 3 in a row this year. Not with this kind of talent. Mahoney to add to his record. And 215 for Mahoney. The Bulldogs with 56. And there's still 9:36 left. As fireworks are exploding here at Bulldog Stadium, just like Ron Rivers exploded on this touchdown run.
Watch the great play again. The initial spin right there is the terrific part. That makes everything else happen, because once he gets out of that one, He's got an opening down the sideline, and no one could stop him.
Like trying to tackle a bowling ball.
It's a good analogy.
9:36 left, 56-30. 86 points already on the board. The Bulldogs were extremely excited about this game, knowing that their big 25 seniors playing their final game. But everything came to a head prior when Wyoming and BYU both were beaten. When they were both beaten, the chance of the Holiday Bowl became a reality. And if they hold on and they look like they're going to do that, they'll get at least a share of the WAC crown. And then they'll have to wait and see what San Diego State does with Wyoming next week. Well, following the game, don't miss the only show that takes you to the front line of the war on crime. One of our favorite crime shows, Cops, followed at 9 by Fox's cutting-edge news magazine show, Front Page. The action begins tonight only on your station, KMPH, Fox 26. Said in that promo there, in the card they hand me, it starts at 8. There's no way that show's starting at 8 o'clock.
That's right.
It's a good kick by Mahoney, and Shear won't come out. Well, what time is it? About 8:25 now? Well, we've been going here a little better than 3 hours and 20 minutes. Let's go down to Kevin Sweeney.
Well, guys, there's something to be said about having a heart. Ronnie Rivers put up all week long reading the Fresno Bee, hearing Marshall Falk this, Marshall Falk that. He's put a performance as a running back, stamped his legacy on Fresno State football history, and played a great football game.
Well, he's had a lot of help. 608 offensive yards for the Bulldogs, the most this year. Their average is just above 517. The Aztecs, who put 30 on the board tonight, they've scored over 40 in the last 2. Despite all the points the last 3 games, they look like a football team that's going to go 0-3. Their defense let them down the stretch. And Darnay Scott out across the 40 in the grasp of Sam Watson.
When the Aztecs came into this game, Al Luganville said he expected to see a very, very intense San Diego State team come into this stadium. He also said that his team needed a win very, very badly, because they're not just having their backs against the wall, they are in a corner.
That's why Darnay Scott may be a first-round draft choice, playing with a bad back. Started practicing on Tuesday. Very lightly, really got it into gear on Wednesday. Dropped a few tonight, but that was a great catch. First down and 10 at the 41. He pitched a Falk, and he can break it. He's to the Bulldog 40 with another Aztec first down. Shoved down by Ron Papazian. Every time he touches the football, you know that things are going to happen. You can see mammoth proportions when you look at the total yardage.
He doesn't need much crack to break one open. He didn't have a great toe on that one, but he just has such explosive speed.
Jake Nyberg will bring the play in from the side. Al Luganville knows he has a very good offense. He just wondered, what do we do after we score? How do we stop these dogs? The deep out. Tipped away. James Burton and DeAndre Maxwell. Burton has been tested tonight. Has an interception, and this senior is playing his heart out.
Burton was on that play all the way. Let's see if we can watch the coverage James Burton has. Sees the ball. Both guys looking back for it. Burton sticks with his man, gets a hand up, and knocks it loose.
Gutierrez, 15 of 27, 377 yards. And he's throwing. Flag is down. It would be a first down to the 25-yard line to Curtis Shear. That flag was at the line of scrimmage in a spot where normally you get ticketed for holding.
Yeah, you can count that one's coming back.
That's the call. Well, it's a face mask on the offense. That's a rarity. Well, you'll see the face guard being held by the defense.
Face mask against the offense. 15-yard penalty, spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
Of course, Fresno State wants to win this game. They have to win this game. The problem they face here is breaking the spirit of San Diego State. If the Aztecs get blown out here and feel they don't have anything to play for next week, then that goes against the Bulldogs, because Fresno State needs San Diego State to beat Wyoming next week. Now,
yeah, but they'll have something to play for, because if they win, they'll probably go to the Aloha Bowl.
They will also have probably the job of their coach to play for next week.
That's a real possibility, because no one expected Luganville's team to lose 5, although Fred Miller, their AD, hired him and enjoys working with Al Luganville. Andre Deshay gets to Gutierrez, the 5th sack. And the Bulldogs have become a sack-happy core over the last 4 weeks. $15 sacks in the 3 previous games, 5 more tonight.
Watch the big rush coming in from the inside here. It's Chris Peters getting the sack. Brad Bell finishing it off. 5 sacks. Terrace slams the ball down.
Ralph, because I'm a nice guy, I want you to diagram the play on 3rd and 40. 3rd down and 40 for San Diego State. They have to get to the Bulldog just outside the Bulldog 30-yard line.
Take a deep drop and just let it loose.
And Gutierrez calls timeout. There's not a lot in the playback at 3rd and 40, but thank you, Tim Gutierrez. We're going to take the timeout. 7:32 left at the doghouse. Bulldogs big.
Down.
7:32 left. Fresno State 56, San Diego State 30. Now the Aztecs, Tim Gutierrez calls the timeout. And he's looking at 3rd and nearly 40 yards. 52 points tonight. Well, they actually have 56. Most by the Bulldogs. Now the most allowed by the Aztecs. I guess he's referring to the 52 that they allowed against UCLA. So the 56 tonight eclipses the Bruin total.
And you know that it's going to be a long flight back for Del White, defensive coordinator. Al Luganville was not at all happy about the last 2 games where they gave up a total of 90 points in those games. Said his defense just disintegrated. Things even worse tonight for San Diego State's defense.
Fans enjoying it. 3rd and 40. The offense of the line really under pressure here as the defense will tee off and come after Gutierrez. They know he's going to throw. And he's just going to heave it downfield. And it's intercepted by Lance Thomas. 3rd interception of the game for Fresno State.
Lance Thomas, the safety, playing center field. Terrace gives it all he's got. Burton will be on the coverage. Thomas comes over to help. Ball hangs up for him. Makes a pretty good catch there for the interception.
Lance Thomas, the finest physical specimen on the Bulldog team. He's well prepared each and every game. He has 2 interceptions this year. It's his junior year. He'll return next year for Jim Sweeney. Now the Bulldogs leading 56-30 would appear to have this one under control.
We were told that because he lacked speed coming out of junior college, his mother paid for him to have a speed coach try and increase his speed. And it's paid off.
Rivers with a lane. Ron Rivers outside again, over 200 yards. How about that move? He's to the 40-yard line. An encore for Ron Rivers.
This guy is just having a night. We were thinking that Trent Dilfer had a terrific first half, but he has turned the spotlight over to Ron Rivers right now. And look at the moves that this guy puts on in the field.
Ron Rivers has 220 yards. That eclipses the total of E.J. Watson of Colorado State, who had 210 against the Bulldogs. And again, we remember won by Colorado State 34-32. The only guy to run further this year in a game was Marshall Faulk last Thursday when he ran for 252 against BYU. 220 tonight for Rivers. Misdirection with Daigle with a huge hole, and Daigle's off to the races, to the 30, at the 20, at the 10, to the 5, touchdown Fresno State. 59 yards, and Dilfer believes. We'll just let this one play out on its own. 62 on the board. Sweeney and Dilfer know they have the victory. They have that big 8th win of the year. And Mahoney continues to add to his record total. 63-30. So the challenge at 35-30 has been met. And the Bulldogs, like a champion, and they will be part of the WAC championship scenario, have 63 points.
An unlikely scenario a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about Jim Sweeney feeling so disappointed and so down after losing in Wyoming, and really didn't know what was going to happen to his team. They've responded, gotten better and better every week since that loss. This is an impressive showing by a team that has just broken the spirit of San Diego State now. The Aztecs are finished in this game.
What's so impressive, we saw John Walsh eat this team up in the air. The Bulldogs have done it in the air and more on the ground. And the fans salute the men in red. Really a fitting tribute to the 25 who have taken the Bulldogs to yet a new level. A force in the WAC, a Freedom Bowl win, and they'll be clashing with another heavyweight in the world of college football in arena soon. Keith Williams reversing his field again. And Keith Williams run down at the 28-yard line. You're probably wondering when's the last time Fresno State scored 60. It's when they scored 94 a few years ago, that ugly 94-17 win over New Mexico, which cost Mike Shepard his job. There it is, on cue, 1991.
Well, they won't score 94 tonight, but it will sure feel like it to San Diego State.
This is a more impressive show. That wasn't a very good New Mexico football team. This is an Aztec team with a lot of talent. Admittedly, most on the offensive side, but 63 points, very impressive. Short pattern to the 35-yard line. Larry Cook on the coverage. For the Aztecs, let's say they've scored 41, 44. What's that, what, 85 plus 30 tonight. It's 115 points in the last 3 games, and they're going to go on 3.
They're going to lose all 3.
The Clovis Community Bank player of the game, Ron Rivers, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's a senior, and he's basking in the limelight tonight. Gutierrez under pressure. Incomplete.
What a great year it's been for Ron Rivers as well. He became Fresno State's all-time leading rusher, breaking the record of Dean Philpott that he held for 25-some years, nearly 30 years. Tonight he breaks the single-season rushing record of Aaron Craver. A lot of stars in this game. You could talk about Derek Mahoney setting the NCAA record, and Trent Dilfer having a great game throwing the football and running the offense, but you can't argue with Ron Rivers as player of the game.
Yeah, Dilfer's thrown for 3 and rushed for another one. Daigle's been spectacular. Anthony over 100 yards and a couple touchdowns. Winans has scored twice. It's been a victory party indeed. San Diego State working it out across the 40 for a first down to Will Tate. Clock with 5 minutes and 34 seconds. What time did you say it was?
20-9.
We started at what time? 5:08? Yeah, we're working on 4 hours.
You're not complaining, are you?
No, this is fun. More fun for the Bulldogs than the Aztecs. Brad Bell pressures him. It's ruled incomplete. Bell gave an eyelash away from his 10th sack.
Bulldogs are making some changes there on the defensive front. You see a Daryl Thomas in, Tony Sargent. But you're going to have to tie Brad Bell up and drag him out of this game. Putting a big pressure coming on the outside.
Ronnie Morissette, number 49, a heralded freshman, had an ankle problem that has slowed his season down, but they expect great things out of him. Second down and 10. And Darnay Scott is loose for a first down to the 45. Sam Watson with the stop.
We're seeing changes on defense. We'll probably see some changes, some new faces in on offense when the Bulldogs get the ball back. But yeah, it's nice to see. Take a little bit of a look at the future of Fresno State football. Sorry to see a lot of these seniors go because there's some great players out on that field. Been here for some time.
Well, the Bulldogs wanted to get to the Holiday Bowl, and it looked like that was an issue that was by the board, but now they'll wait for San Diego State. If San Diego State can beat Wyoming next week, Fresno State will go to the Holiday Bowl. One's dropped.
Don't see Marshall Faulk drop many like that, do you? Such a great night receiving tonight.
Now Luganville has to be wondering. Just a tough night. The team, though, showed guts in the third quarter. They were down 35-10, had 3 quick touchdowns to make it 35-30 before the Dogs responded. Gutierrez over 400. The books are balanced with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Well, they hit a couple of big plays to get them back in the ball game. Lightning quickness. Rocked the Bulldogs back on the ropes, and Fresno State kind of staggered back, recovered, and came out punching.
Gutierrez pressured. Again, it's Faulk. 35-30. That he's to the 26-yard line. Marshall Faulk having his best game receiving in his career, and he has a first down. Omar Stoutmeyer finally had to haul down Marshall. He's had some game receiving. You know, he's over 200 yards receiving. A lot of records tonight, a lot of high water marks individually. But again, that was expected when you had 2 football teams that are loaded up on the offensive side of the ball.
And the patterns they get to him are allowing him to get the ball and then do the rest himself. Not long passes, but he's turning them into long plays when he gets the ball and turns on the jets.
Now Faulk 8 receptions for 206 yards. For Keith Williams. He's got the touchdown. Good throw on the deep corner pattern to Keith Williams from Tim Gutierrez, who has thrown his 4th touchdown of the game. He threw 4 against BYU, and he throws his 4th tonight against Fresno State.
It's Gutierrez is really something that just unloads another perfect pass here. Great catch, but over 400 yards in passing against the Bulldog pass defense, which is one of the best in the WAC.
Peter Holt for the PAT. Now the Aztecs have 37 points. And again, it's not going to be enough. It'd be amazing, Ralph, if they get another score and get into the 40s for the 3rd week in a row. Score into the 40s and lose all 3 games. Combined 100 points tonight for Fresno State and San Diego State.
Fresno State, this being their final game of the regular season, will certainly be tuned into San Diego next week to see if the Aztecs can bounce back and help themselves. I mean, we're talking about a bowl possibility for the Aztecs if they can win next week. But they would put the Bulldogs in the Holiday Bowl if they can beat Wyoming.
Ralph, I want to thank you and Kevin. It's been a fun year. Obviously, this is our final broadcast of the season. Going to sell out, and we've enjoyed bringing it to the fans in the Valley.
Well, thank you, Randy. You make it very easy to do this job, and this is a lot of fun.
Of course, right around the corner, Bulldog basketball. Gary Colson with a veteran team. 278 Dogs, 278-3647. November 28th, San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly into Selland Arena. And Carl Ray Harris has returned, plus 5 returning starters from last year.
And they'll have their second exhibition game of the season coming up this Tuesday night against a team from Russia.
Charlie Jones is back at the 10. Everyone else within 10 or 15 yards of Peter Holt anticipating the onside kick. And it's kicked right out of bounds. And the Bulldogs will have it at the Aztec 48. That is not a good illustration on how to kick the onside. You got to keep it in the field of play.
Certainly, and the Bulldogs will take that because they just take over now and have a definite chance to run out the clock.
Well, Adrian Claiborne will be the quarterback. So Trent Dilfer, his job is done tonight. You can't tell you, Dilfer continued his streak. He was not intercepted. Bulldogs did suffer an interception. It was on a halfback option, and Ron Rivers was intercepted. And they continue to pound the ball, and a flag is down. Mike Pittman with the carry. Williford made the stop. Unofficially, Trent Dilfer 21 of 32, 274 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Adrian Claiborne 4 of 8. And we were talking to Jeff Tedford, who works with the quarterbacks, and they weren't sure about Adrian Claiborne. They didn't know if he was the future, but the last month he has really gotten a grasp of the offense, and now they feel like he could be a star, maybe even next year.
You're right. They're very pleased with the quick development here late in the season.
But it was a question mark up until about a month ago, but he's really turned it around, and he's been very impressive taking his snaps in practice.
Taking good snaps in practice. He can get in there and call plays and run the offense. Probably not with the authority of Trent Dilfer, but you got to remember he's just a freshman and just starting here. But they say he's made tremendous strides as far as calling plays and running the offense is concerned.
You're looking at 1st and 20, and yet number 34 in the tail of the tandem is Mike Pittman, the running back they think is going to be a great football player. Gene Wirtz is looking at the clock. 4:01 remaining.
Please remove 10 seconds from the clock. Please remove 10 seconds from the clock.
So from 4:01, we go to 3:51.
How about removing 4 minutes from the clock?
You don't like 4-hour football games?
I looked at the clock and I said, no, is that 4:01 a.m. or
hey,
p.m.?
Trent's doing autographs, huh? What a nice kid. We had an opportunity to chat with him. 32 more throws. Only had 238. Even, what, 270? There's Pittman being tripped up.
Well, he only threw the ball, what, 7 times in the second half? He threw 25 passes in the first half. In the second half, he kind of gave it to Ron Rivers and Anthony Daigle, and they took care of it.
And the offensive line can't underscore just how good those seniors were. Ron Collins, Josh Coldiron, Russ Hartman, Kenny Hall. All those guys are seniors, and they'll be sorely missed. But the future is bright, too, with the likes of Jason James and Dan Hahn. I like Brian Malcolm, a big sophomore who's 280 pounds. But this was senior night, and they responded. 2nd down, 22, with 3 minutes left. And it's Pittman.
Talked with Jeff Tedford about what were his indications? Would Trent Dilfer leave, or why would he stay? Was the cupboard going to be bare with a lot of these guys leaving? And he said no, that the cupboard would not be bare next year if Dilfer decided to return for his senior season. He has solid offensive line in returning. He's got good running backs as far as they can tell, and Woody Green and Pittman. Of course, a good receiving core coming back. Brian Roberson, Michael Ross is doing a redshirt year. He'll be back next year. So, no, the cupboard will not be bare offensively. And if it's Adrian Claiborne's offense to run, they think they'll be effective as well. Although they do expect a major transition, a major turnover if it is Claiborne instead of Trent Dilfer.
Claiborne, who is a very good runner out near midfield, shy of the first down stick, so Fresno State will have to punt it with 2 minutes left. The Bulldogs with 63 tonight, outscoring San Diego State, who has 37.
14 yards to go. Ray Peterson, number 17.
Ray Peterson dropping back. He will return the punt.
Number 10,
Derek Mahoney.
in the punt for the Bulldogs.
His final punt undoubtedly as a Bulldog in Bulldog Stadium. These are moments that you want to take in as a senior, look around, knowing that you did it in front of what figured to be the greatest crowd in the history of Fresno State at home. And just remember what you accomplished. Flag down with 1:17, and the clock is running, although it should stop for the moment, and finally does with 1:14.
And now we can get into all the speculation about the bowl possibilities. If they go to the Holiday Bowl, Fresno State could, at this point, play Penn State. Is that the way we understand it?
Yeah, I think Penn State is in the best position to finish 3. Of course, Penn State plays next week against Michigan State in East Lansing.
Also a possibility, the Aloha Bowl, Christmas Day in Honolulu. Maybe an Oklahoma game there for the
Or
Bulldogs.
Kansas State.
Or Kansas State. And they're not ruling out the possibility they could go to the Copper Bowl.
Or the Freedom Bowl. Although that looks a little bit more doubtful. Short kick by Mahoney, but he'll take it. And it rolls to the 23-yard line. And again, the Aztecs could aid and abet the Bulldogs with a win over Wyoming next week. It would propel the Bulldogs into the Holiday Bowl and most likely would help the Aztecs' cause toward a berth in the Aloha Bowl. Tim Gutierrez has a very bright future, just a junior. Came in hitting 62% of his passes, and he's been picked off 3 times tonight, but he's also fired 4 touchdowns.
No, he certainly has plenty to be proud of. He performed very well tonight under pressure. Bulldogs threw a lot of blitzes at him, sacked him 5 times, but he's been hanging in there.
And you just saw Mike Pittman. This is brother Wayne Pittman. And Wayne Pittman for the last 3 years playing behind Marshall Falk. Pretty good running back. Probably start on a lot of football teams, but not with Marshall Falk enrolled at your university. Under 40 seconds, as you can see. And the fans who have remained, some have left, some have remained, applauding the Bulldogs, who will at least get a share of the WAC title again. They did that a year ago. 25 seniors going out in glory as Pittman is halted at the 31-yard line, and I don't think we'll see another play. This one is for the 25 seniors. And the Bulldogs improve to 8-3, 6-2 in the WAC, and will have a piece of the Western Athletic Conference Championship for the 2nd year in a row. Points on the Bulldogs scoreboard tonight. Fresno State beats San Diego State 63-37. Howard, are we coming back?
Driver, do you have any Bud Light in your vehicle?
Yes.
Then I am Mr. Galley-Weekich.
You mean Dr. Galakowitz?
Yes, I am. This is so cool.
First time in a limo, Doctor?
In a limo this small.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The Bulldogs defeat San Diego State 63-37, and yes, the streak of Trent Dilfer continues. He threw 32 times tonight, completed 21 of them. And that streak, 270 consecutive passes, the all-time record. All-time record in NCAA history. And also tonight, Derek Mahoney broke Roman Anderson's mark for PAT. Somewhere in that sea of humanity is our Kevin Sweeney, and he's going to try to get to Jim Sweeney, who's being escorted by the sports information director here, Scott Johnson. But you can see a lot of hugging and kissing, and a great moment for Jim Sweeney. Let's check in with Kevin.
Hey, guys, I don't know if you can see me, but there's a taller gentleman standing next to me. It's Trent Dilfer. I want to congratulate you, the most prolific passer in FSU single season, brother.
Thank you very much. And I just, first of all, want to thank Jesus Christ for the opportunity that I've had, and, you know, the awesome time we've had here. And gosh, tonight was just like, just was awesome. I mean, words can't even describe what tonight was.
Well, when I spoke with Coach at the halftime, I said you were radar, and number 12 had radar on tonight.
I had a good week of practice. I felt comfortable with the system and what we had planned for the night. And, you know, I throw it, they catch it. It comes down to that.
And a great job by those big guys up front for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that tells the whole story. When you have 400 yards rushing and 300 passing, I mean, there's obviously the offensive line is doing their job. And if any one group of people should get praise for tonight, and I'm
proud of you, pal. You're the best. You're my idol, like I say.
Where is?
There's Coach Jim Sweeney, probably looking for his son.
He looks like he's looking for Hawaii. He's got a little lay in his hands there. He's thinking about the oil bowl, or what is that?
I don't think he knows that Wyoming and BYU lost. He may be going to San Diego, maybe Hawaii, but we're going home. We want to thank the whole gang at KMPH. For Kevin Sweeney and Ralph Wood, I'm Randy Rosenbaum. The final score, a delighted faithful at Bulldog Stadium tonight. The arithmetic for Fresno State, 63-37. Good night, everybody.
Right here. Here we are with Coach. Biggest win in Fresno State history. What a great crowd.
What an awesome crowd. What a great crowd. Red Wave was awesome. And Red Wave was awesome. Hey, Red Wave.
Just a wonderful football game.
Wonderful football team. Our players played so
momentum.
good.
Third quarter started to lose a little bit, and then boom, you know, took execution.
Offensive
and took
line
it over.
knocked them out of there.
They did a wonderful job. Now you just wait and see. Root for San Diego State next
wait
week.
and see. Yeah. Wait and see now. I have to root against Joe Tiller.
There you go, but that's okay.
A lot of good things happened today.
Yeah, it is. A wonderful football game. We'll send it.
I just want to say a word about my coaching staff, about Coach Robinson, his defensive staff, and about all the whole staff on offense. What a great job they did preparing the guys. And that offensive line and the defense was tremendous.
You can see right up above there, 36 yards rushing for San Diego State. Is that unbelievable?
They had 36 yards rushing. All right.
Tremendous football game. Congratulations. We'll head it upstairs.
All right, I guess we kept it here for one last chat with the coach. Obviously a big moment for Fresno State. 2 years in a row, they get at least a piece of the WAC crown. Now we can say so long for the whole gang. For Ralph Wood and Kevin Sweeney, I'm Randy Rosenbaum saying goodbye from Bulldog Stadium.